Guys, welcome. Sorry bentar, coy. Lagi setup anjing.
We're gonna stop playing Breeze.
Yeah, I mean, Icebox. I'm thinking when I think Paperrex Icebox, I think about I think about CTRS coming in and playing Gecko way before Gecko was even thought about being on that. That's when it was a troll pick. As like a last raw send-off for it.
It was like a, why not? Let's try it.
And Gen.G on the other hand loves to ban Sunset. Also, I think partially inspired by Paperrex. Yeah, you see Paperrex play at Sunset, you're like, we're also going to keep banning that.
Exactly. They started banning Sunset after that kickoffs game in the group stage where they lost to Paperrex. Ever since then, it's a full-on Sunset ban. But that's why today's matchup is going to be so interesting. Map picks are going to determine how this series will go. Okay.
They still don't want to play Sunset. Gen.G still doesn't want to play Sunset.
Paperrex doesn't want to play Breeze, and Gen.G.
Well, not against Gen.G.
Gen.G are picking Lotus into Paperrex.
Okay.
Interesting.
I would have thought for sure they'd go for Icebox.
Yeah.
Given that it's open, but
Paperrex are the ones picking Icebox.
Paperrex is. Wait, they chose Icebox.
Okay. Lotus.
I hope it's not another troll pick. The last time they picked Icebox, it was a troll pick.
I don't know. Look at Alex. It doesn't seem
teman-teman semua ya, welcome guys. Kita watch party Paperrex dulu karena udah pakai baju W Gaming guys ya. Dari kemarin malam.
Okay.
Let's go guys, kita udah siap nih guys ya melihat apakah Paperrex akan balas dendam guys ya.
Whoever is tuning in for this
Balu
match,
imut bang, makasih guys,
They're
makasih.
kind of stunned. They're like, why
Habis makan guys.
That's a big question for me. But also, what do you want to ban here as Gen.G? I mean, Paperrex with Jing in the roster, that's not where they've been running like the crazy, triple duels or anything like that on split. So
binds perhaps, like.
He's showing him the one.
Ada joget kah hari ini bang? Kenapa joget?
This isn't a poker table, Alex.
Wow.
Perek semangat, Perek semangat, anjay.
Anticipating the triple duels?
Apakah Jing akan memberikan perlawanan yang beda guys? Gue penasaran sih bro.
That was something that Gen.G struggled with a little bit, but then you have to bend.
Gue jujur dia penasaran sih guys. Apakah Jing akan memberikan perlawanan yang kuat guys ya?
Okay.
I think really just
tidak guys.
Depending on how this Icebox looks and what they have ready to go, this feels very heavily weighted towards Paperrex's favor, to be honest, as far as the map draft is concerned, just at a glance.
Even with Icebox?
That's what I'm saying. It hinges on that.
Because they picked Icebox.
Lotus, I think these teams can go blow for blow. The bind, I think, a little bit more yet to be determined for Gen.G.
Kalah seron ganti yel-yel bang, kurang ajar. Gejel sama buat bang.
Paperrex, well enough first on it historically.
So if
mereka memikirkannya dengan matang guys, bukannya lama. Mereka memikirkan dengan matang bro.
Are you sure about this?
I'm picking this
Oh yeah, okay. I thought they were like, you sure?
Sore Ciao.
Your final pick.
You want to be very careful about which side you start on, especially against a team like Paperrex.
I'm buying too.
Penasaran kalau ada Jing apa bedanya bang? Let's see guys ya. Kemarin sama Gen.G kita kan kalah 2 kali guys ya. Wih.
Interesting. It is worth noting, I should say, that
keren banget itu mau dong.
It's only we would have both, but the Korean desk had to take the Gen.G one. And we only have one. We only have one copy of each gun, but these things look so clean.
What?
Really? Yeah, they're great.
Wah, gua taruh belakang sih guys kalau dikasih guys.
Like the fans
we
can go up
have,
to
all 11 teams are on display, but we decided to steal
Keren
the
banget,
2 teams that are playing
cuy.
at any given time and split them amongst the analyst desks.
That's right. That's cool. This is really cool, guys. And if you want to see it up close, you can buy it in Valorant. The bundle, and then you can stare at it.
What about
and the Gen.G one? We have to be bipartisan here.
Absolutely. Which is also
Aku bikin guys, di custom apa sih? Custom cosplay gitu guys ya, bisa ya? Suara kamu kalian emang nanti aku meninggoy.
I think this is a healthy mix. And
Empat guys, empat ya.
Because we have had some pretty landslide predictions.
Milih Jing atau monyet bang? Milih kamu. Buat aku tertipu.
At a really high level.
So why Gen.G?
Buatku malu.
I think strictly because of just recency bias. They've been able to best them the most recent times that they scored off against each other. Yes, Jing does come back in.
Bisa muter gitu bro, keren banget bro.
Good, but I think that they have way more catching up to do compared
Stop
to Gen.G.
nyanyi, apa sih? Nggak boleh gue nyanyi guys ya.
Gen.G only need to focus.
Siapa yang baru bangun langsung watch party Valorant guys? Ada Bang Ijat Imawawano guys.
Also, developing, creating new set plays, new strategies that they're going to have coming into
this match.
I think they have more work to do with way less time.
For me, it's kind of like a pure faith pick, but also I feel like Paperrex is a team that would have of tricks up their sleeve, so I'm kind of hoping to see that. But I'm a little bit more curious, you know, for Kilios after seeing this map pick, after seeing Icebox coming in.
Masak yo, masak apa do? Masak apa anjir tiba-tiba masak.
I mean, the fact that they, you know, don't.
Tapaku bang, halo Zahli, halo Adi, welcome ya. Dribble dulu.
Apa kenapa
dribble?
Have something up their sleeve that they're going to be doing something incredible. But I'm still going to go with Gen.G. I mean,
laptopnya kayak kenal tuh guys.
I think again that Lotus is a little bit of a
laptopnya kayak kenal.
Okay.
But
I want you to finish your statement
Jangan
after
dribble
we
gua bikin
invite
sial
Coach
katanya.
Alecks up here with us, so
With
you can
the coach.
explain
By all
yourself.
Right here.
So let's welcome Coach Alecks from PaperRx.
Dah.
Yes, please.
Our
he's
favorite coach.
Getting ready, dude.
Hi. Welcome back.
Bisa aja nih pasangan kita, bro.
Was that a troll pick? Like last time you picked it was a troll pick. It wasn't a mistake,
That was
right?
not a troll pick. Like last
Bacio,
time, I
mukamu kok
promised
putih banget
Clara
pakai
he's gonna
skincare
play
abang,
one game,
pakai
practice for 5
ini
weeks.
guys.
And then they told us Icebox is leaving the map pool, so we had to pick it.
Okay.
It's a integrity thing.
It's still staying in the map pool this time, just so you know.
Yeah. So now it's slightly better prepared.
did you know at that time that when he played Gecko there that it was going to end up?
Dribble
being
Paperrex
done
auto
that
win,
on
cok.
us?
Jangan cok, kemarin gue dribble kalah, Jing.
Yes.
Yes.
There you go.
We're at Gecko, like we
You're a
love Gecko.
genius. You're so smart.
Not me, actually. It's Clara.
It's Cla. Okay.
He's actually the one that's created the Gecko meta in the world, right?
That's
'Cause he's
true.
the
He's
only
only-
Gecko main.
That's true.
Yes.
Now, thoughts on Achilles' Gen.G prediction?
You know, I'm a superstitious guy, so. And I'm
Go
not a
Perek,
stats
go
guy, but
Perek,
I
let's
need
go,
to know your
guys.
hit rate.
I have to go off the recency, and I think that you guys have had your hands full with needing to reintegrate
Bang,
Jing
aku
into
mau
the
jadi
team.
Coach
One
Alecks
of the
di
things we
sebelah
talked
cewek
about last
tersebut.
time, if you were on the
Hello,
desk
kamu
was,
siapa, Rian?
you
Kamu
know,
siapa?
Can we expect anything new? And the answer is no. We've had 5 days of practice.
Kamu siapa, Rian? Kamu tuh harus
Not that much time.
bisa ini dulu, guys. Bisa apa sih?
Well, yeah,
Pacar
now
Alex,
it's
Bang.
9 days,
Iya.
So I'll be
Kamu
curious
tuh
to
bisa
see if
gitu,
there are
guys.
going to be some overarching changes in the comps and the strategies and whatnot. But I think that
salah.
it's been a little bit easier for them to just kind of hone in since they got back from
For
Madrid.
Icebox, I mean?
Oh, just
In
generally.
I mean, they didn't have much time either, you know, like, all of us, we both came back like 1 day apart, so,
Yeah.
I mean, as far as I'm concerned, if they took a short break, it would have been 9 days of practice as well, so it's quite fair, in fact.
Capsnya pakai
I
apa,
wanna
Bang?
ask you
Pakai
about your results in Madrid.
Yep.
pakai apa ini,
Yeah,
guys ya?
you guys
Nggak
got
tahu,
third,
guys.
which was awesome. But I think you guys seem a little bit unsatisfied with those results too. What were some of the learnings from Madrid against Gen.G?
Alright. I'm quite satisfied. with
Are
it.
you? Okay, I was mistaken.
No, I mean, Madrid. I think we went there a little bit low confidence, you know. And
Tanding
and
sih,
we were
2-0,
trying to fix
2-1,
our just
2-1,
mindset
guys.
mostly. So I think getting the third, we managed to get match practice in, you
Bakalan
know,
datang, Bang.
get stuff out
Biar
of
si
the way,
Paperrex
like
baru dulu,
discuss
Bang.
each other, try to make sure that we are aligned again. I think we took a step in the right direction there. So as far as I'm concerned, very satisfied for whatever happened in Madrid.
Do you think Gen.G's improved since Madrid, based on the performance you saw last week?
Yeah,
Kecilin
you
ininya.
can already see them adding
Kamera
things
kecilin
together
banget, guys.
because, in Madrid, some teams are using
Ya,
specific
kecil banget
item
kameranya ya.
mollies to control aim from defense
Ya,
side.
kamera kecilin kan?
As soon as they came back, I can see them only in their game against Talent, so I know they're actually still working the map pool. And I think if they pick
Ya,
Lotus
segitu
against
ya.
us, I think they know that that's their strongest map.
I am a little bit curious about Lotus, but I do think that picking Icebox is like 200 IQ genius move. But if there is anything to watch out for Gen.G, like what would you say that is? Like what's their
Nice.
Kamera
strongest
kecil,
in
Bang.
in
Oke.
general?
I mean, they're coming off like
Ya.
full confidence.
Ya.
You know? Sure, you lose the finals, but I thought it was very, very close. You know, it could have gone either way. It's enough to give you the boost you need. You know, to say, okay, I'm coming back to my region. The game should be easier, and we've beaten Paperrex twice. You know, so I think we're gonna play against a very confident Gen.G, and I'm hoping that we do. We fight them. You know, I hope.
Tai, kamu tai semua.
I have one last question. It's actually for both of
Tai
you.
kamu semua ya.
Oh, another one.
no.
How's your day going?
Well, it's going great.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
Kecilin Bang, kecilin Bang. Kayak kecilin.
Yeah, just wanted to
Good,
catch
good,
up.
good.
Make sure everyone's just vibing.
So far, so
Yeah.
good. So far, so good.
You're good?
Dah.
Chill.
Dah ya guys ya.
Eating
Ini
so
ya.
far today?
Stress eating?
Yeah.
No.
Okay, good.
I'm on diet now. You know, I'm trying to.
How are you? That's great. I love to hear that.
Udah kecil kan? Udah kecil kan?
Well, thank you so much, Coach. All the best.
Bye bye.
Aw,
Kamsahamnida. Kamsahamnida.
Kamsahamnida.
so much respect. I love
Kalau
it.
live itu Bang, live dong saya.
Yeah. I did want to ask about Jing, but you know, he's
Bang,
got
kapan
to
main
go
salah
down
sama
to
Talent
Coach.
T1 lagi Bang? Nanti
And I'm
kalau
curious
diajak.
how Jing is going to be performing this time. I think Kilios you made a great point about Jing's performance, while phenomenal, there were shaky moments in his gameplay.
Yeah, and I think, you know, I think that we expected
Mana
that.
jam 3 kan? Jam 3 mana guys? Jam 3 belum?
Given that the teams were traveling back from Madrid, but you know, I think that roster change just kind of compounded and added on to.
Bang, kamu VTuber bang.
Fairly normal shakiness that you see, you know, post event. So I think that it is going to be a stronger team.
Ini banyak pet juga bang. Iya ya. Coba dua guys.
Right there,
Baca itu bulat banget. Apa yang bulat tuh?
Even though it's a very comfortable map for us.
Matanya bulat. Oh iya ya.
They clearly feel very confident on it, and I think that goes, you know, the opposite side for that Icebox pick. So this could just end up being neither team wins on their map pick, but we go to 3. I very well could see that happening.
I would love to kind of see that happening. I feel like Gen.G's Lotus is really strong, but I am curious about what the agent picks would be, because Icebox coming in then, Jing, is it going to be still that Raze or back to a Sage, a Battle Sage?
Battle Sage?
Well, we're going to find out really soon. We're going to go down to the stage, so welcome the players.
Anjing bagus ya 8, 7, anjing kayak Spek. Our time is now guys. Yellow. Bang, em lo sama Jason kerasan mana bang? Kerasan itu kamu. Maksudnya ini kamu ya, Pak, keyboard kamu lebih keras keyboard kamu.
It's the rematch, the pride of Pacific, Gen.G and Paperrex, 2 teams that were at the top 3 of the
dulu bang.
world.
Perek semangat, Perek semangat.
Is Paperrex going
Perek
through the
semangat, Perek semangat, Perek semangat,
So my name is William, joined by Paperrex. We'll be bringing you this first match of the night. And boy, what a way to start.
No, I mean, this is like a day that you had to have had marked on your calendars once you saw the Stage 1 schedule come out. Obviously, this could be another rematch coming into our Stage 1 finals. You know, today could just very well be like what the semifinals could be. I mean, like, it's such an exciting day overall.
So, mana bang? Lotus.
Some interesting stuff here from both teams. I would Jing back. It's going to be interesting with Paperrex pretty much no matter what.
Yeah, and that's the interesting
part. Kalau nggak salah guys ya, hari ini tuh
Gen.G
itu playernya kemarin malam habis makan ayam geprek guys. Habis
Habis
makan di cafe Indonesia ayam geprek, terus tiba-tiba sakit perut katanya hari ini guys. LCK apaan tuh?
And of course, how does it affect Paperrex as the desk was discussing that. But now it's time to see how all the players are looking, getting ready for their match today, trying to get a couple more championship points, and of course, leading their group to try to secure their spot into the playoffs. First up, it's going to be
undefeated.
Gen.G, of course, followed by their nemesis now in Pacific Paperrex.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great storyline coming into this year with the way that already both of these teams have had to square up against each other multiple times, including at Masters Madrid. So this is really interesting. You know, with Paperrex going
dribble
back
bang,
to
aku
what worked for
clipper.
them previously last
Aduh
year,
jangan dribble bro. Kemarin gua dribble kalah timnya
You know, it's going to be
jing.
really exciting. It's going to be high octane gameplay for sure. But Gen.G,
Ntar gua dribble lagi kalau udah potong rambut guys ya.
managing some of those teams.
Let's go
that try to
JJ.
get
Ngeri.
Paperrex is definitely going to try to
In the rubble.
So let's see exactly how both teams are going to kind of move their chess pieces around.
Rambutnya sama semua ya, Aaron sama si Forsaken ya. Belah dua. Belah.
Yeah, I'm glad that there's not going to be any
Belah dua
asterisks
guys,
here in that first map, right? The second map of Icebox, obviously some question marks still remain, but in this first map, sure, Gen.G a very comfort pick. And while this is one of those maps that's always plagued Paperrex in terms of how do we figure out our own meta, do we even follow the regular meta,
Bang, apa betul kalau kepiting kalau dipotong jadi kepotong?
Of course, most recently still showing that they are willing to return to that double duelist with something and Jing at the helm.
Yeah, and I think you're going to see a lot of that today, most likely. You know, definitely something is very comfortable on the Jet, Jing very comfortable on the Raze, and they're good enough and they're smart enough that they can make those kind of things work. So, just curious on Lotus. Every once in a while, Paperrex, you know, likes to mix it up a little bit. You know what I mean? But
yes.
they will go in the rain maybe sometimes with something. But generally, I think you can expect the jet raise and then some other things to follow. And then other things do kind of change from time to time. Sometimes Forsaken does move away from the Cypher. It all just kind of depends on what they've been able to cook up, and like they were talking about during the interview, right? Haven't had a ton of time here for PaperreX. I would expect some pretty comfortable agent picks would be my guess.
Oke, let's see guys, kalau sama-sama nyala bakal jadi game keras guys ya.
Coach Alecks said that they think they are pretty much on even ground.
Gen.G Coach soal leveling nggak bang? Kagak, Alex doang yang soal leveling bro.
After returning from Madrid, again, this Gen.G squad got to basically use now Masters Madrid.
Pernah ada jaketnya nggak bang? Ada jaket ini guys, jaket ungunya ada guys, cuma nggak dipakai.
Readjusting, of course, to their old form, their old core.
Suara lu kok gedean bang? Ih ngepet banget sih, kemarin bilang bang suaranya kecil bang, suaranya gedean dikit bang. Tai lah.
Current meta, right? What pros are doing in scrims and in matches, things like that. So we'll see. Was 1 week enough to get GENG really dialed in perfectly? Because we saw a lot of hits of their old colors in that first week.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, you know, it's funny. You know, GENG was watching all the matches. Obviously, he was co-streaming Masters Madrid. But then I was talking to them, and he said even when he got into the games, like for the practice again, he said already PaperreX was playing way different than he was expecting. It was still taking him time to get into things. So it's even though you watch it, even though you've seen it, even though you think you kind of understand the concepts, it's actually playing at that speed is very, very difficult at the pro level because things change so quickly like you're talking about.
Well, there's not going to be any changes for this map, though, in terms of composition. Gen.G on top of the raise, and meanwhile, PaperreX still sticking with the single controller, but going with double duelist. Something in GENG.
Double duelist kayak biasa teman-teman.
Whenever they do this, something really
normal ya PaperreX nggak berubah guys ya. Dua duelist pakai Forsaken pakai Cypher.
Really exciting to watch. I think especially the way that ZOWIE can
mereka pakai dua smoker.
Really impactful. The way you can set them up with those guiding lights is often really destructive. Like PaperreX is a team that has a lot more success taking the A site than most teams do on Lotus because of that combo, because of the ability of Ilya, and he also changed up his guns, right? You've seen him take the Judge and things like that. The Shorty, very, very powerful on some of those corners, and it's a lot of ZOWIE oftentimes setting him up for those close quarters engagements.
We'll see Gen.G how do they prepare against it. Coach Alecks gave them credit for already adapting.
Let's go, Lotus!
Picked up from Masters Madrid, but now with PaperreX just peering into the notes against Gen.G, how well can they adapt in game? We will kick off map 1 of this best of 3.
Sebelum mulai, mari kita berdua menurut kepercayaan agama masing-masing. Semoga PaperreX bisa memberikan match terbaik kedua ya kali ini guys ya. Terima kasih, silakan berdoa menurut kepercayaan agama masing-masing.
No doubt, a duel of the fates, it seems to feel like, for 2024. So very excited to see exactly how this is all going to shape out.
I mean,
kind of a different look here for Gen.G on this pistol round 3, right down to B. And I think they have a pretty decent read on what PaperreX likes to do. You're gonna see these three in particular play a lot together on this map on the defender side. The Fade, the Raze, and the Omen. The combos here really, really devastating.
B-nya diras guys.
You know, the Haunt into the Paranoia, the Blast Packs, the smokes are really well placed by Keren. I went back to this map. I'm so impressed with the way Keren plays Omen.
Yeah, I mean, he's really grown into one of his own, and it's going to be a read, but GENG's going to get the first shot and leading in numbers as well. PaperreX not going to pick up the tempo, though, with the counter paint shows coming out. Slows him down, and now just leaving a lurk. They will reset to explore other parts of the map. Now rotating over to Mount, they would have control of the revolving door as well.
This is huge. They get the heals off as well from ZOWIE. So yeah, Mindfreak taking quite a bit of damage there in that exchange, but able to get him a little bit. The door is open, and looks like PaperreX is really highly considering a full-on C-exec.
Yeah, but despite the heals, of course, not all topped up just yet. Munchkin, can he get the nice shots in through? And the Poison Cloud comes up with Forsaken. He still somehow crouches through, continues moving forward, dodges the bullets, and now Texture. I mean, it's a 2v3. No real point of waiting for backup. He's got to dwindle the numbers, but he's been checked out through that one-way. Meteor now on the backup, and PaperreX, they've taken their post-plant positions, 3 spread apart with crossfires all the way through. But a nice headshot from Meteor, kicks things up, and before he catches the trip, he's gonna get the second, down to a 1v1, and Texture already wrapping around. Gen.G will recover the pistol round for a 1-0 lead.
Bantu soal nanti lebih cepat daripada yang Inggris emang ya guys.
Kicking themselves a little.
Selalu membuat round yang awalnya tidak mungkin menjadi mungkin, Son.
Oh iya, Cok.
Gua kira itu akan menjadi round mereka.
Gila guys, bisa cepet ID sekarang, bro.
3 masih bisa diamankan oleh tim Gen.G. Dan sekarang PaperreX
tidak akan melakukan pistol guys,
walaupun belum melakukan planting. Mereka masih akan mengikuti SOP yang ada. Gen.G, awal yang baik untuk mereka. Di map pilihan mereka juga. Terlihat bagaimana seorang Forsaken masih
lebih lambat kan, sekarang lebih cepat ya jauh ya.
Mengingat ini adalah
Tapi lebih burik aja sih grafiknya
round
dikit.
kedua sepertinya dia udah mulai alert. Dan ada
Ya nggak sih grafiknya nggak.
Terdengar suara pintu, tapi para pemain dari tim Gen.G sudah aware akan hal tersebut. Akan menarik mundur. Pemain-pemain dari tim
nggak cari
Paperrex
buka apaan bro.
masih di delay. Di sekitar trouble juga ada satu one way
A-nya susah sih guys.
yang diberikan oleh Karon. Dan 5 pemain dari tim Paperrex siap untuk menggerebek, dan itu dia 5 pemain. Karon sudah mengetahui ada bau dari tim Paperrex yang ingin mencoba untuk setup ke arah side A. Tentunya mereka tidak mau terlalu terburu-buru. Para pemain dari tim Gen.G
Pecah gitu, agak pecah kan ya, guys ya.
Side A ataupun side B sekarang yang akan dituju berbondong-bondong.
Inggris aja guys ya. Tuh lebih grafiknya lebih bagus guys Inggris guys. Tapi agak delay dikit emang.
Yeah, I mean, especially with the eco, especially with Paperrex.
Tapi jauh banget Ikonya lumayan bro.
They recognize the push has come through. Keren just gonna look to hold close quarters with a Spectre stuck on tree. But look at this, Gen.G already aware of the possibility of a rotate back into B. Meteor, he's been blinded, but now he's got his sights back.
Nice, nice trade. Win a ball.
Pushing heaven, picking up weapons. Texture recognizes the danger, has to keep them at bay. Now it's all 3 members of Gen.G pinching onto the site. Karen takes care of 1. The double of Paperrex stuck on heaven. Texture just keeping them at bay until his teammates are able to pinch in. Defy gets a kill on the drop. Karen hoping for backup from Texture, and the bucket at the same time recovering the
Ente guys. Nasiko.
At the end from Gen.G. This is something that has made them so successful this year.
Aduh, tipis guys, tipis.
Not attacking together when there's at least a couple players left. Like the trades are great, the flank timings are really good. That means the communication is really good for Gen.G. A great paranoia from Mindfreak to bust this open, and a couple great shots to back it up. Left Meteor very uncomfortable there. Karen there working that Spectre very nicely against the Guardian, not giving it really.
Okay, let's go. Byron nggak boleh kalah ya guys ya.
Easy headshot from that angle. So well played by him, buying time as well. So very nice for Gen.G. So they get the expected win, but still a decent amount of damage done here by Paperrex. Leaves it on only a couple Guardians, some Ghosts, and 2 Sheriffs.
Something belum nembak nih something nih.
Bulldog and a Guardian, right? Bought triple Guardians there to try to really snowball things forward as both teams trying to have a bit of a skirmish to control rubber. It's going to be a late delay from Gen.G. We've seen a lot of teams adjusting to this. It's going to be a high-low from Karen as well.
Kenapa jadi begini, bro?
Masking the sound. And that is Rubble taken over. No weapons dropped on the side of Gen.G. Just said upgrades coming through, but for Forsaken, we've seen them lurk through so early once again from Baby Door. It's
ini dia. Itu dia bro. Itu jasadnya guys ya. Gurih-gurih
nyoy. Gen.G spread apart, having to fight solo on either side of the map, while Paperrex, they'll be grouping up as 3. They don't want to make the same mistakes. They want to make sure that they're there for trades. But Meteor,
tajam banget Jason dari kemarin bro.
Wild chase all the way around the site. Texture gets spotted by the cam. Looks like, Gen.G, they may not have time to really activate anything here with the remaining timer of the spike.
Texture able to upgrade the gun.
Nice,
Texture. Though.
And it's just Meteor who doesn't actually have a weapon either, so he'll have to go for whatever damage he can get, trying to isolate the 1v1s. He gets 1. Oh, I thought he might be able to get 2. Of course, the spike still ticking down.
Tapi berdarah-darah guys. Berdarah-darah guys, dapat 3 mereka bro.
This is a really interesting execute here. Not an execute, like a space take for Gen.G, let's put it that way. They did not do anything quite like this when they played Talon. This is a very different look there.
But Talon did this against them, right?
Exactly,
a lot of that delayed retake of Rubble.
No, exactly. So this was like something they weren't really doing.
Cok.
The combos they used here a little bit different. Karen was rarely getting up on top
Bang, kalau lu nggak main bang, gue siapa
kocak. Texture to work the backside of Rubble while Karen smokes for him and paranoia for him. And then the fade is there to grab a haunt to try to get a reveal for Texture. Very different look. This is much more like what they usually do on these takes. You can see a Boombot this time to clear that space. Really well read here by Paperrex. This was something Talon never really addressed, and Karen's going to go to try to get up top again. Paperrex doesn't want to mess with this right now. They're going to wait things out, spread the map.
Nice jumping. Itu dia timingnya. Timingnya bagus banget, Cok. Itu juga gue bilang guys. Game of timing guys. Di saat si Manskin masih gerak-gerak, pas momentumnya si ini nge-pick so ya.
Leave something here as a distraction on the side of Paperrex. They'll even open the door to make sure that backup does not arrive onto the C site. Meteor, can he hold on to this alone? But it's going to be a perfect paranoia. He's been surrounded. He's just trying to stay alive, but it's too many members. And now the flood of Gen.G that used to be so perfect has been broken apart into just a couple drops. Paperrex all alive, spiked down, and looking forward to a flawless round here.
Yeah, I mean, it's just so difficult to play against the speed and aggression of Paperrex and the combos of all that utility flying in there.
Gelo guys, mainnya rapi banget ya.
Every team in the world that's had to face them has had to deal with it. And you never quite know what to expect because the timings are always a little bit different. They're always a little bit uncharacteristic from what you saw.
Yakin masuk master nggak bang?
How and when things happen with
jadi turret berjalan gua kalau main, bro.
Come a little bit later. The guiding light might come a little bit later. Things like that make it really difficult. You could see Meteor there just had no idea what to do on the C side. He's just trying to find some kind of safety, and there was none.
Yeah, and I think a lot of something that Paperrex has learned as well is that Gen.G will oftentimes be prepared for those trades, right? So they don't want to take any chances. If you're going to go into the site, we might as well dump everything we have. Make sure that we are coming out on top.
Guys, gue nggak tahu guys kalau iklannya dari YouTube langsung, bro.
Where they made up against
Not me,
Gen.G
bro.
so far in
Kalau mau main aja Kang
Look at some
Tanam.
of these replays as they just barrel into the C site.
Aware gini Gen.G ada Jing nggak agresif lagi, yo.
It's going to be Gen.G who's going to be lacking the credits. We'll still have a couple of rifles. They're going to force up to a certain extent, just towing that line for a half armor buy, and of course a Marshal for Meteor. And we're not going to see any of the ults come line as Texture, of course, already sent to Showstopper.
Never count out Meteor with a Marshal. He's one of the best in the business with that gun. The deeper paint shells this time, no space taken off of it. Just trying to bully them away a little bit. The camp did go up here for Paperrex. So they could take advantage of this site, which maybe Gen.G is expecting them to have backed off a little bit. Now, Forsaken over towards B as well. Really important here.
I mean, Paperrex, they recognize that if no one's pushing Rubble after that utility, somewhere else there has to be more info, and they're going to start to combat for that space, and Forsaken is going to have a great time to take over B side as the rest of the main force is starting to pressure A, drawing out a lot of utility from the defending team. During this, Forsaken on the minimap, checking out the entry points into B. Will he have a timing? Meteor has his eyes set, but Paperrex, they just want to pinch in. They realize with the number of utility
dapat info guys.
Now Jing going all the way far back, perhaps way too far ahead of his team. No backup there. A rifle drop for Gen.G to pick up. This could be a bit danger. Paperrex recognizing that, they'll start to push out.
That was tough there for Jing. Couldn't quite get his aim under control. Maybe seeing a little bit of that rust on him. Gen.G realign for this retake. 3 gonna pressure Forsaken here. They've got a crossfire set up.
Yeah, it looks like Gen.G, they just want to make sure that they're able to pick up a couple more weapons before they go in, and look at that, a triple peak, high-low crouch as well, but now it's back to a double from the side of Paperrex. They're not letting this go.
Nice, Aaron!
Spray down the remaining members, and Texture all alone with the shot. Can't make the magic happen this time. Paperrex will be taking over the lead, 3-2.
Mati 2 doang sih, oke lah.
I mean, Mindfreak looking really sharp here today on this Omen. Not only with
Mindfreak panas banget guys, 7-3 bro.
Crisp is hacked, 7 kills so far for him. Showstopper for Jing. A little bit whiffy, but you know, Jing just taking a little bit to get into it. We've already seen that after a couple maps.
Bisa, amin guys. Si Gen.G nggak kelihatan sedem banget ya. Ini nggak seperti prime-nya Gen.G yang kemarin bro. Nggak sengeri kemarin guys. Atau mungkin belum panas juga, sama-sama belum panas guys.
From Paperrex, the double satchel, yeah, exactly. The double satchel into the Showstopper. Definitely something to be considered for Gen.G for sure.
Yeah, Paperrex, they've already taken him out. They're not masking any sound here. It looks like they're going to be ready for a boombot sent as well, trying to make sure that Meteor cannot combat this. He doesn't have much to work with. All his util already taken down, but it's Karen here for backup. Munchkin as well opening the door. They actually get fired back upon. Mindfreak is just continuing the spree as he takes one down, and that opens up a timing here for Paperrex to enter the site. Meteor, can he hold on to it? The flash is too good. The paint shells will keep him tied up, and the Showstopper will make sure no one else from Gen.G can approach as Karen gets taken down from the
timing, Jason,
as well.
Forsaken didn't have his gun out, and still Karen couldn't quite get him in time. So tricky to deal with. That Showstopper comes out. Forsaken's already lurking on your back lines. Ooh, the dink through the wall there by Texture.
What the fuck is that, bro?
Damage, but there's just so much to get through, and you don't have much space to work with.
Aduh, Jing nggak dapat mulu, bro.
Still be able to fire back against Jing, but a lot of that timer's already run down. The spike ticking away.
Nanti masuk apa lewat apa bang? Lewat seleksi bro.
Run in, seemingly wanted to take advantage of that low health on the dink, and it's going to take just onto the tripwire. And at this point, Lakia, he doesn't have a way out either. Just trying to fight for his life, making sure that they do not chase, and it's just the lone Vandal saved up. Forsaken on the hunt. He knows that he just has to try to go for a run and gun, but will not greed for it either. Stabilizes at a 4-2.
Yeah, it's really interesting because normally you expect Paperrex to kind of just come at you off the rip, you know, when Jing's got
Keren nge-whiff, coy. Jarang-jarang Keren nge-whiff, bro.
Slower with it. They're not quiet about it because the footsteps were being given away. It's almost like Paperrex is trying to bait out Gen.G a little bit.
Gila, Alex effect, bro. Alex effect ngelihat kayak lu lihat timingnya, guys. Gen.G tuh suka fast rotate, guys, ya. Kalau kita nge-push apa dia fast rotate, guys.
And then Jing able to perfectly place.
Ya masih, guys, jadi saya lihat gak sih? Mereka tuh pas rotate, di saat udah pas rotate mereka saya tinggal satu orang, mereka masukinnya gampang, guys.
Ideas for Paperrex are really good right now.
Yeah, just a lot of adjustment, having learned from their previous matchups, understanding that Gen.G will
makanya ini dimanfaatin oleh Alex, guys. Mereka tuh main apa sih? Main kontek-kontek supaya si Gen.G itu rotate. Satu saja di isinya 3 atau 4, sisanya kita gas. Langsung rotate cepet.
Really understanding the habits of Gen.G, and I think this is one of those maps where Gen.G is starting to get tested all the way to their limits. How much deeper does your kind of baseline fundamental playbook go, right? It's not about the set plays anymore, it's about how you're adjusting the tempo of the opponents.
Kalau penuh 2024 champion kita ke Korea, guys. Anjay.
Round 7, the Econ once again quite broken on the side of Gen.G, just the lone Vandal carried over, and Meteor will be relying on a trusty old Marshall once again
mau satu
on the other side for
mungkin mau
something.
ngikutin cara Paperrex, guys, tapi kalau si Paperrex ngelihat mereka ras-rasanya 3 orang, mereka pindah ke B langsung atau ke C, gas lari.
Cycling them back again, so you're just, you know, essentially eating through ult orbs that you would love to have. Instead, not able to really get
enggak, dia main 3A, terus satunya di A, sisanya rotate, guys. Kalau gue sih tetap ke A sih. Oke, mereka mungkin udah tahu nih, guys, tapi tetap C-nya rame. Wah, ini kalau Paperrex masuk kalah sini.
This is a map where both teams are really good on their defender side usually. Gen.G has been really stalwart in their defense on this. Now they're going to overstack C, kind of expecting that this has been where Paperrex feels like they have a good read onto Meteor and his positionings.
Yeah, but backup all arrived, right? And this is even with that snake bite to try to fake them out away from A site. It's going to be Texture who's trying to make sure he blocks him up, but he's a little too scared to fight for a shot. Wants to line him up, and that gives time for Jing to turn around for a double. Uncharacteristic of the star duelist of Gen.G to hesitate on the trigger. Let the round slip away. Karon, the rookie, last one alive, and Forsaken continuing the jiggle for another round win.
Loban Cion nanti bareng Adel dong. Cion, ntar gue tanya Adel, guys, ya mau nggak sama gue? Soalnya gue streamer kecil, guys, beda sama si Adel.
You're just gonna dive in with the shorty as you kind of expect, but then you have Jing up on the box to cover you as well. So this executes so good. The late paranoia right on top.
Kalau Gen.G pada wave, bang, ya ini kadang-kadang hidup itu tuh hidup itu kadang-kadang ini, guys, berpindah ya, guys, ya gameplaynya.
Still,
PC gue berisik banget.
Love what Gen.G, or excuse me, Paperrex is doing. Really nicely timed
PC gue berisik banget, coy, yang PC kedua.
Waiting things out, feeling out Gen.G enough.
Ilmu padi abangku, yoi.
Do what you were talking about earlier, Will, that they're just dumping utility when they know they can get value out of it. And that's been really powerful. Big hit.
Nice, dapat satu. Aduh, anjir.
And Kaos as well. Mind Freak trying to stabilize, but eventually goes down. And Paperrex really choose to stay and fight. Forsaken wondering if the Prowler would spot him. It does eventually, but he's on duty now. He has to lead the forces as something's still sticking with the operator for the time being. Both trying to open up the right side of the map.
Davai kena trap tadi, Davai.
B-site and Rubble. Something's going to make a lot of noise, waiting for Forsaken to gain some intel in the middle of the map. And Gen.G, they don't want to fall for this. They're trying to make sure they group up all the way in Defender's spawn and make sure they don't let Forsaken know of their whereabouts. Spike plant, heard by Meteor. Going to enter onto drop, and it looks like it's just going to be a pinch, even with the Nightbot, to make sure he does get tagged right at the end. Has no audio. A little bit of that decay as well.
Still has the Blade Storm. Back pocket, lockdown gonna have to be invested.
Well. I mean, Gen.G, they really want to make sure that they don't get pinched from the flank as well. They are prepared for everything, and Lockya with a snap on, but something with a flick to answer back. And now the lockdown goes through. Still not enough time though. The defuse already started, so some heroics for something, but a desperate round win for Gen.G.
Ngeluarin ulti, guys, dua ulti mereka baru menang.
Consolation prize, I suppose, for Paperrex.
Aku sekarang fans, jadi kamu jangan marah-marah ya. Tai kamu, Subasa Ozora ya, fans. Jangan fans gitu lah. Fans Paperrex aja boleh, bro.
Essentially, a great idea, great change of tempo for Gen.G to just kind of push out, and it looked like Paperrex might have been somewhat ready for it, at least on the C side, but the B side caught him enough off guard. It was able to be a punch through for Gen.G, get a much needed round win, especially with rifles in hand to bank up a little bit of extra economy, because it is deep pockets for Paperrex right now. They've got some ults again. Showstopper once again for Jing going to be available. You do have the Viper's Pit for Munchkin.
A-nya coy, mereka tuh sekarang pintar, guys. Mereka tuh A-nya cuma satu
padahal. He's going to be a little bit patient for it. You want to make sure that you aren't going to be cleaned out early, maybe if they get a spot on you and the showstopper in the right place.
Yeah, generally, Gen.G, one of those teams that does like to wait for a little bit of a surefire way to send that ultimate, even if it's on a timer near the end of the round, something like that. So we'll have to wait and keep our eyes on Munchkin. But like you mentioned, Gen.G's ult economy.
Hindari C-nya bro, hindari C-nya bro.
They've got their options even with the operator. Now Texture waiting on the C side for Gen.G with his own operator that allows his teammates to be ready with a trap play near Baby Door. Paranoia already spent though, so Karen just gonna have to wait for the crossfire. The tripwire is sent, no reaction. Forsaken trying to bait this out. He knows that this door is open for a reason. And now they execute on through the revolving doors.
Nice.
GENG sends it, uses the showstopper as an extra boost to move forward, dodge all the bullets, and the site has just been broken open. So we do see a bit of a trade near Baby Door, but something is the guard. Can you get through him?
No idea.
The barrel.
Yeah, over
No
pick,
idea.
Cho.
Lakia still hidden right by it. They sniffed something, but not how close enough it was. Now the retake. Gen.G, 3 members ready for the flood. Lakia just trying to draw a lot of aggro. Towards that Baby Door side, draw them out into the open. Mindfreak going for a bit of a Hail Mary with the from the shadows. Meteor going to stabilize the shot first, but now the pinch. Gen.G, they hear his shots, and it's going to be a peek out from Texture, but he gets taken down. Mindfreak still going for it, half already done by Munchkin. The defuse, they just want to try to stick it, but the spam's coming through, it's ticking down. You have to stick it now, and he's pinpoint on for that shot.
Nice.
Clean it up.
Dijepit, dijepit.
For Paperrex.
Ya mati
Beautiful
bro.
read here by Mindfreak. Been
Nice,
so
nice.
good
Nice
for
read, nice
Paperrex
read, nice
on this
read, bro.
half. Using his ult at the perfect time. Putting himself right in drop. An interesting spot to go. You might expect as Gen.G that he goes a little bit deeper with it. Have to invest the Viper's Pit.
Nice
Try to make this
banget,
retake a little bit safer. But the crossfire good. Texture
Jing
just
banyak
not quite
quiz nih
able to
bang.
find that
Tapi
shot.
nggak apa-apa, ultinya kena terus
Picks up
guys.
operator
Nice
off
one.
of something. Now something is going to
Enggak
grab
lah,
that
oke lah
gun.
guys. Ini mereka
Finally,
performnya
probably
lumayan
gonna
bagus
invest
bro,
the
rapi
Blade
guys.
Storm as well.
Jangan ragukan
Three-man
Mindfreak,
execute
betul
towards
sekali
rubble
guys.
for Gen.G, but nobody from Paperrex is even going to be in that
Jangan pernah ragukan
destination.
Mindfreak ya guys ya.
I love this.
Mindfreak itu smoker terkuatnya Paperrex bro.
It's going to be Meteor who's targeted,
Hey!
but you can't count this
Hey!
one out with single
Dapat
shots.
dua,
He'll
Jing.
take down 2. It's going to be the Raze and Sky down. Something
Aduh,
also
suka
taking a
aneh
big
banget
hit.
nih Meteor, Cok.
That
Tiba-tiba
really
kenceng
slows
begitu,
down
bro.
Paperrex. So Meteor, a bit of an adjustment
Nah,
there.
nggak
Instead
usah
of
kecil
waiting
nggak
the
sih,
site,
nggak usah
pushes
kecil
out
nggak sih.
towards Mound to challenge them early. Allows his teammates to come for backup. And now B and C-Site have been flooded. They will be found through the neural theft.
And now they're going to change ideas. Saw too much pressure. Try to make it work onto B. Forsaken looking for the pick off the ping, but not quite able to find himself
Gila,
that kill.
Jason ngeleroknya bagus banget guys.
When you be able to come down, switch to the Vandal.
Oh,
Aduh,
with
kenapa
the
sih gak sabaran bro,
classic.
sumpah gak sabaran bro.
Takes him down. That's a rifle upgrade. Now Forsaken's lurk. Are they ready for this? They have no idea. Forsaken, he'll just take the 1 kill. He's happy to buy time to try to bring home this round victory. Tries to flick up, but that's a tough one. Lakia will be able to find that kill. Mindfreak dodges, and he won't be able to connect to the second one. Munchkin picking another with the Sheriff, and it's going to be the Thrifties of Gen.G that return.
Yeah, the classic Gen.G Thrifty. So good at this, and Meteor just a little bit further ahead than maybe Paperrex was expecting. They got the ping off the flash, and I could see some level of potential preparedness there for Paperrex that maybe somebody would be at that mound, but Meteor was just too fast and too good. And Forsaken tries to double pump a bit after he got that 1 lurk kill.
Suka banget Thrifty guys, kenapa ya guys ya, kenapa guys?
Still going to be trying to pressure that angle. So nasty from Meteor there. I mean, you can see they're firing at him, they're pre-firing, trying to get to him. Meteor's just too quick, too good.
He's been in that position so many times before.
He's insane, man. I mean, with those, like you said,
Apa guys,
one-tap
apa guys?
weapons.
Nice try, nice
better.
Thrifty. It's okay, it's okay, it's
Now
okay.
Texture, he'll
It's
have to
okay.
get
We
an
still can
operator
do it,
block
bro.
from his teammates. They were trying to look for one, but little did
Let's
they know.
go. Let's go
Paperrex
something.
didn't invest in
Pisahnya
another in
something
that
belum
previous
keluar nih
round.
bro.
And
Gue
there
lihat
won't be
bro.
another this time either as we go into the last couple of rounds of the first half. Paperrex still leading 6-4. Something dashes ahead of Rubble, takes all this space, and he's ready for it as well. Sees the tag, sees Lakia getting hit right through the Toxic screen. No idea what hit him. And now 2 members of Gen.G still on the A side. But a lot of risk, tries to take the shot, but he's a little too late, only hits the Trailblazer. And another swing out, but Texture, good for another. Oh, that's going to be the double blast back.
Itu dia,
W bro. Nah itu dia guys, lompatan laut guys ya, pusing kan pakai OP bro.
Protocols from PaperX are so good.
Nggak bisa OP guys lawan PaperX guys, nggak bisa OP bro, defending bro lawan PaperX guys. Dilompatin kiri kanan jing.
Satchels past the operator, knowing that he's stuck in place without using satchels of his own to get out. There's no quick out for texture there, and GENG and Forsaken take perfect advantage of it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just absolutely an honest moment of, was it a burr, was it a plane? No, it was GENG. But by the time he figured that one out, texture was down and out. Now it's going to be the 7th round win for PaperX. Finally bringing some good old meta balance to the attacking and defending win rates to Pacific.
Yeah, it was about time. I mean,
we haven't seen this in
quite
so often.
I know. Lotus has been a super defender-sided map, but
nice fight,
nice ace for PaperX. They will clear the 7th round. At least stay positive path, no matter what happens in the last one. Let's see if Gen.G can make it 7-5.
Enggak miskin sih. Miskin 2 orang doang deh kayaknya.
I think, not exactly sure for Gen.G. Gonna need to see another look. Yeah, I think they have just enough to get through with the buys. I mean, it's so nasty from GENG. What do you do against this?
Yeah, and then he still gets Keren as well. Karen trying to figure out where he needs to provide backup, but it's just too fast. While GENG has to adapt a little bit. Okay.
Ngeri bro.
All right, so we're gonna go for a Sheriff, a Bucky, and a Spectre on the side of Gen.G. All to make sure that Texture can get an operator. Just so we're clear, he hasn't fired too many shots with that weapon in this first half.
No, it is quite the mixed bag here for Gen.G. Try to see if they can shut this down. And look at PaperX kind of ping-ponging here, and it's so fast. They're already on B. Forsaken already taking space, already trying to see if they can clear this open.
And it's as if they have a hard read on this off-buy, right? The force up, saying that the weapons probably are all over the place. We just have to make sure we don't run into the operator, nor any of the amazing ultimates on the side of Gen.G. Nightfall gets used. 2 members will dash out, but something gets ahead of it. Doesn't need audio when he's up in the air, and it's going to the Showstopper, trying to keep the rest of PaperX at bay, but GENG jumping forward, gets a lot more kills, and now just Meteor left alive. Picks up the operator. He's always been good for 1, but can he be good for 3? Not even a single kill, as it will be an 8-4
Ini baru PaperX yang ku kenal ya guys ya. Ini adalah PaperX yang kita kenal guys. Gila, main trik menyala banget bro.
Some really good ideas here early on where PaperX was kind of baiting utility, trying to figure out exactly how Gen.G was going to play things. You weren't seeing some of that same control either from Gen.G towards Rubble that they were doing time and time again.
Gokil guys, top G cold banget, top G cold bro.
The Fade, the Omen, and the Raze all taking that Rubble control.
PaperX kemarin abis edit di Gracie ya bang, enggak sih sekarang udah oke sih.
However, PaperX was
sekarang
kind of like
langsung balik W-nya gila lagi bro.
Send something forward a little bit. Okay, they don't like what they see. They're gonna pull back, and they're
senyum tipis Bang Alek katanya bro.
On that C site early and often, and that kind of set things off kilter for Gen.G. It didn't really feel like they were ever comfortable, and then a lot of times.
Apakah honeymoon PES Gen.G udah selesai bang? Kayaknya iya deh.
Some of those deep pushes after a plant goes down, and they did a really good job absorbing that pressure against like Talon.
Sure.
But today,
entah something pasti OP nih, something pasti OP guys. Kalau di defender pasti OP something.
So many things at you so quickly, it's so tough to deal with.
And the tempo changes as well from round to round. It's not just the old W gaming all the way through, right? Sometimes you're baiting out the ultimate, sometimes you're trying to get ahead of it. PaperX
Gen.G berarti hitungannya cuma dapat 2 guys, bayangin guys, karena dia punya pistol tadi ya. Kalau pistolnya tadi PaperX yang menang, Gen.G cuma 2 ini. 10-2 harusnya. Hoki aja pistolnya dia menang bro.
And it's going to be 4 ghosts, just a half armor for Karen. Looking to stack towards B, they will meet each other. Once again.
Rapi banget bro,
looking just like our previous pistol round. It's just different teams on different sides.
Kalau yang rapi gitu kita tenang gitu loh guys ya. Nontonnya juga asik gitu ya guys ya.
You're gonna rely on Forsaken for PaperX to kind of lock down the A site with the info for a retake potentially, but it looks like it's gonna be another brawl right at the front of B.
And they'll run into each other right away. The guiding light, and it is going to be antied, and there's a paranoia, counter paranoia as well. Do they recognize where it came from? No, they're going to spot Mind Freak a little too late, and their crosshair is shaken up by the boombot as well. Double kill for GENG. The answer back from the door from something as well. The backup is there for PaperX. Now a 3v2, but of course the battle still 2v2 as Forsaken awaits the approach on the A side.
It's a pretty good read now for Gen.G, moving towards C. Seeing if they can get it, but of course, As is tradition, Paperrex not letting go of those W keys and just going to keep right at their heels, right behind them. Now Aki is watching it. Is he going to be able to get it? Nope, that's spike down too.
Not quick enough, and Munchkin, he's afraid of the flank now, recognizing that they're pushing him from behind. You got to be afraid of where's Forsaken coming from, because surely it's going to be a pinch and a wide swing. Something's been loving those here at VCT Pacific.
Pistol dengerin Jason bang, pasti menang ya. Jason kemarin pistolnya 100% katanya.
I mean, many try to brawl with
Gitu,
Paperrex.
nggak buat jantung patah, jantung copot.
And I like it from Gen.G. See if you can get a confidence win here, see if you can get a boost. But it just isn't ever really able to be dealt with. That boom bot not quite cleared. Causes some serious problems as well.
16-6
A
bro.
slight delay with some of these util timings.
Tekstur turu banget bro, tekstur bro.
Playing off of contact
Tumen
with
banget
their
tekstur
utility.
turu
This is
guys,
something they
tumen
do
banget
so
guys.
well, time and time again, that a lot of teams don't really understand or anticipate until they played against it, especially with GENG in there, because GENG is full-on confidence. He does not care at all what you're doing. He is going to take the fight to you when he feels like it's time.
Yeah, I mean, GENG is quite frankly overheated.
GENG lagi dulu apa Paperrex lagi menyala banget bang.
Bang.
Paperrex-nya lagi menyala banget, GENG-nya lagi biasa aja guys. Ya.
So it's a bit unfair sometimes. But we'll see Gen.G. It's not going to be this round as they are just sitting on a singular sheriff, but can they stabilize in the upcoming rounds?
GENG sekarang pakai outlaw, coy, jarang-jarang gue lihat.
Paperrex are only 4 rounds away. We've been seeing the outlaw a lot from GENG. He misses the first, he misses the second. He's in a bit of danger now. He's got to run away, but something is there with a Vandal. Gen.G, you did not account for this one. The HLs will knock GENG out. As GENG wanted to greed for another off with a reload, but now back up a ride from DREAMCORE. Gen.G, all their eyes set on something. He's trying to draw aggro. But it's going to be Meteor who's just checking. There's the jump peek, but it's going to be DREAMCORE who swings out first. And now just trying to spray down the close members. The classic comes into play as well. And DREAMCORE doesn't need the Paperrex buff. He'll just get the kills himself
bagus banget ya nggak sih?
Yeah, there's
efek
nobody else in the world that does
anjing,
these
jangan-jangan iya guys. Efek runner up grand final langsung jadi kurang mainnya.
You've got something just holding the angle out in the open, and GENG sticks around just a little bit longer, and that's intentional. That's to buy some extra time there. To force kind of the hand of Gen.G, where they say, okay, maybe we can isolate GENG. Maybe he overstayed his welcome. Like you were just saying, sometimes he overheats, sometimes he
kutukan runner up kali ya, bener ya?
Those extra big plays when he doesn't need to, but it's all just bait for something. Even though he whiffs the shots, there's an extra layer there for Paperrex.
I mean, of course, also the fact that they're double duelists, right? Both of them.
Tapi kemarin abis champion mainnya nggak jelek-jelek banget Paperrex anjing.
Until DREAMCORE or Mindfreak, other
orang juara 3 Master Madrid kotak.
If they can't get the kill right away, if it's not a
jelek kemarin mainnya
headshot,
kotak kalian ya.
you gotta question whether you want to continue the fight or not. As Paperrex, they love to drag it out in that mud fight. And now it's going to be texture planted in rubble for this round. Gen.G, they've taken over that space, but at the cost of quite some big util, like the Paranoia already being spent by Keren. Now planting the lurk into B as well. Classic Gen.G coming out, classic default with this composition. Spread out the lurks across the map, see if you get a reaction. Now at 50 seconds, they still haven't cleared the Cypher setup though on C. That's going to be their next obstacle.
Yeah, it's going to be the kind of go signal for Paperrex to start pushing the rest of the map. I like what Paperrex did here, really trying to hide. They're set up.
Stunned.
Oh, they got it.
Trying to creep forward, but it's just not enough. And something clears out. And Gen.G, they wanted to rotate back. They wanted to plant something in C, but now they'll have to just start to walk in and clear all these traps. They have no idea where Forsaken might be. They're creeping forward. They thankfully will clear out the Cypher. And now taking over the site. It's going to be a quick surround by Paperrex. Revolving door and something now from Defender Spawn as well. Trying to clear the angles. He draws the sight of one, and that's going to be the cue for the rest of the team to start pinching it forward. Divide trying to draw aggro, but he goes down. Now, a 2v2. Gen.G, can they win the duels? It's going to be Munchkin who wins one. Now a 2v1. Mindfreak, he gets one. Can he get the second? Not quite landing. And Munchkin finally gets one more on the board for Gen.G.
He almost had that.
Almost.
He almost had that. I think he got a ding through the wall there. Absolutely bonkers stuff today from Mindfreak. I mean, he is playing some of the best Valorant we have seen. This Omen stuff, this is a huge win right there. If Forsaken gets one before he's traded, now, if you want to fault Paperrex at all there and say that
kalau something di atas itu menang tuh something tuh. Kalau something dari atas dia menang tuh guys.
They know they're wise to the trick.
Beda 5 poin guys. Bisa yuk.
They know that you never know when one player is going to be pushing ahead of the rest, trying to see if they can find that extra value. Texture out ahead. grabbing that orb early again, but a 3-man stack here. Got Jing, Divai, and Mindfreak ready to rumble.
Nightball available for Lakia. He's set up for it. Now, are they ready for the close hold, though? So audio may not matter as much. The DK is going to be something they're looking forward to, trying to hold them, bottleneck them in tree, and so far Paperrex succeeds just a bit. Divide trying to bounce back and forth. He gets sighted first, and Texture with a nice flick back around. He clears the entire site on his own alongside his trusty Boombot. And that should be a quick round for Gen.G as they look forward to a 6th round win. Only 2 members left alive. Paperrex, Bulldog, and Vandal in hand.
Yeah, gonna have to be a save now. Although Forsaken has taken a position. He's gonna try to find cheeky exit frag potentially. Something going on a bit of a lookabout. Just seeing if anybody's gonna come through there quick, see if he can get a freebie. Not gonna be given over there. Great execute from Gen.G on the back of that Nightfall. I mean, I like what Divide did there, where he kind of sidestepped the Boombot and was gonna hold the angle, but Texture just so fast. Then the transfer over on a Mindfreak as well, absolutely nuts. He's ready for the 3rd, and that's round over.
Karena kena ultinya Fight jadi low, guys.
Seen it time and time again this year that Texture can pick up these big multi-kills for you and just completely turn things around. Get Gen.G back on track to potentially make this a competitive map.
And that's something that really carried Gen.G forward and impressed a lot of people around the world, was that they could take turns having those moments. And very truthfully, we haven't seen too many yet here on the first map of this best of 3. But Texture will put one into the highlight reel to make sure that Gen.G is not out just yet. Paperrex not close to map point, only 10 rounds. They can't sit on their laurels yet. And there we go. The replays are coming back for Texture.
Otak gua, guys. Otak gua udah sama Alex satu frekuensi, bro. Timeout kan ada 2 soalnya timeoutnya nggak dipakai.
Where's that? Oh, there's the tone. Here we go. This is how we start that song. He's back in tune.
I just love Texture, man. He's so funny on camera. He's just
la 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 la.
He's a jokester.
He is. It's great to see. So now you got to kind of rethink what you're doing here, because that extra space you're giving up at Rubble hasn't really worked out. It's intentional for sure from Paperrex, holding back, trying to see if you can, again, get these contact reactions. But the Nightfall in particular, really challenging, even with the paranoia and all those flashes and stuff that Paperrex throws out, isn't enough to really stop the momentum of Gen.G when they're doing that execute. So you gotta rethink. I think we're going to see some more Rubble control. I think that's something that obviously worked out in their eco round.
Jangan-jangan ternyata lu Alex sesungguhnya, Bang. Kagak. Itu namanya kalau misalnya kalian udah kalah 2 kali berturut-turut, kalian time out supaya bisa matiin momentum musuh. Kedua, bisa kayak pep talk lah, bisa kayak ayo guys, fokus, main santai aja, jangan terburu-buru rotate. Cari info, dapat info baru rotate, gitu-gitu paling. Alex ngomongnya guys ya.
Yeah,
Alex lah.
Quick and easy orb, and of course this allows you to set up Forsaken.
Dia punya Viper, coy, dia bisa masuk ke dalam dia.
The Cypher setups now, really just trying to make sure that
lebih ke ini aja sih, lebih santai.
Too easily, trying to look for the picks rather upon the entry. Now Paperrex will try to funnel them towards the A site. It's all going as planned, but whether they can arrive in time is the big question. Texture goes in. Does he send it? The showstopper. It's not checking drop just yet. He's not wise to it at all. His teammates are going to start to funnel in. One gets seen, it's a burst, but only one. As Forsaken wonders where the double will be. Gen.G thanking their lucky stars on that one, as they haven't taken too much damage just yet. Texture holding close from heaven, but I'm not sure if he was spotted by the Trailblazer. Not at all. He's hiding right behind the tungsten screen. He counts for 1. That's 1 down. Tries to hide back into it. Jing goes way far. The showstopper not finding its target. Texture still alive. He stabilizes for another kill. The Mindfreak in the short. He won't find its targets just yet.
Okay, nice. 2 lawan 3, guys.
Gen.G, they've got the post plants. They've got the angles. The Nanoswarm will be cleared by Jing. He's quick on that. But they have to push. They have to get kills. It's a 2v3. The spike is ticking down, and they are just getting pressured as Meteor gets yet another kill. The paint shells, but Jing only 8 HP. Gets 1 kill. Can he at least drop all the weapons?
Aduh!
It's going to be Lakia who will get the last kill. Gen.G follow up to 7.
Tadi Iko, guys. Ya, dapetin yang 11 ya, udah 10 nih.
Just positioning this time, not just
chill.
great entry, great
Anjir, Davai lihat guys. Davai asisnya 18, dir.
You know, you can see on the map if you were watching, Divai sends a flash towards drop that doesn't get any contact. So then they throw the Trailblazer, but does not see Texture. They're trying to set up Jing to find that player that's a little too close that he can blast back into, get that free pick onto the Flood retake.
Texture kalau Taker ngeri juga ya. Tiba-tiba nyala ya pas Taker, Cok. Karon lagi mati nih, bisa Karon nyala kan?
Oh, and Texture finds sight of at least one, maybe both members as he's throwing the paint shells as well. Just trying to make sure that they don't have an
TP,
exit.
anjing main freak tiba-tiba TP, bro.
Broken open. So they have an idea of where the exits might have happened. Gen.G now stabilizing as
Nge-heal pasti asis ya. Oh ya, nge-heal doang asis sih, betul.
They're really spreading their control of this attacking round.
Forsaken though, just waiting for contact off those tripwires. It looks like camera on the other side, something sliding over, but there's been no pressure at A, so now you have to kind of start to assume that maybe C might be being thought about. Spike's still in spawn for Gen.G, so they're trying to figure out exactly what Paperrex is.
Ya, dia lagi mau cari tahu guys, mau cari info guys di mana musuhnya.
The previous round was a little bit of an eco, so you expect that this is the round that really, you know, maybe there's going to be a response, maybe there's going to be a crunch out of Baby Door or something like that, but instead it's all towards C.
Yeah, but I love that from DeVi, right? They're aware that Gen.G could rotate to either side, so on a time sense trailblazer that brings Jing over just in time before the execute happens. Is 3 going to be enough for Paperrex as we do see the spray coming in through the smoke? Nobody close. They still haven't cleared the second trip, but it's going to be something that draws the aggro first. Forsaken good for a double. Jing still alive on the site. Something trying to bounce back out as Jing flies more of a Texture. He's just going in through aim training as all these targets fly at him. 1v2. Can he get the clutch? He's already been spotted. He's going to plant with the help of the paint shells. Finds one. Doesn't have time though. He has to stick the plant. Will he have it? He stops it. DeVi knows. And he goes Texture. And once again, he drags Gen.G out of the depths of hell in this map 1.
What are you supposed to do against that? That's unfair. He's just insane. Paperrex does so many of the right things here. Forsaken, something, Jing, all there to try to cover for this. And yeah, he gets Forsaken. You know, Jing does a good blast pack. Try to buy a little bit of bait. He gets up on top of the blast. Texture's just better.
Itu ngapain si Manfred ngintip dari situ ya, bro ya?
You know, you kind of have to think that DeVi might be trying to push you with the
Aduh, cowok kena timeout lagi kan, bro.
Fired up.
I mean,
aduh.
You see Lakia's face there too. His teammates can't believe it either.
Efek gaji udah ditransfer bang. Ayolah bro, come bro. Tadi 3-5 lawan 2 loh guys.
Texture, and then he just chuckles it off. Just another round, just another day for the Korean duelist on Gen.G.
Mind-blowing. I mean, the way he plays that time at the end of it too, just absolutely brilliant. You can see DeVi a little bit befuddled, not maybe expecting that last repeak, maybe not quite reading the time situation as well as he could. Maybe rethinking that one, but you know, you want to try to push him, but there just isn't enough space there.
Belum dapat lagi round ini bro, bahaya bro. Belum dapat round sama sekali guys. Cuma dapat pistol sama ini satu doang.
And you gotta kind of wonder, all right, what's he gonna do? All right, well, I'm just gonna try to go to a different position, I think is what Mindfreak is thinking. I'm gonna let him get the plant, and I'm gonna reposition from behind that pillar and try to go somewhere else, somewhere unexpected. Texture just reads it perfectly. Now he's up to a positive KD after that ace.
Yeah, it's been a rough going so far on Lotus, but he's back on top, and now Meteor finds a pick on C as well. That will slow things down for Gen.G. They know they have options. With the Cypher down, they can go anywhere. The immediate call comes out. They've been spotted, and something follows through. You have to watch out for this. Paperrex, when they see an opening, they will not let go. They will drag you back. But Meteor says, welcome right into my arms. 2 down with the Outlaw. Tries to peek around the boom bot, not going to find an opening. Now he's just trying to play for time as the rest of his team is creeping into the site. Guiding Light comes out. Gen.G has to make a decision. The call comes out to try to reinforce, but Meteor may not need any assistance as he gets another. Still only half armors on the remaining members of Paperrex as well.
Yeah, this is not the fight you want to be taking with just stingers in hand for Paperrex. So now they're going to back off and try something a little different. Gen.G hot on their heels, opting to try to take a little bit more contact. Love these Outlaws coming out from Meteor against the ecos of Paperrex. Save a little bit of extra cash. Able to cover the flanks really nicely with it as well. So this little adjustment for Gen.G, and it has caused Paperrex quite a bit of grief.
This is just so good. They know that the Cypher was gone from C site, but instead of waiting to see if the rotates have already happened, you don't know if Paperrex is split or not. They decided to just deathball it into the site, playing with the advantage of numbers. 3 inside tree, Meteor holding from afar next to rubble. Mindfreak try to cause a bit of a ruckus with the shrouded step. They definitely heard it through the wall, but are they aware of where he might have landed? He won't get a reaction. Gen.G, they are just patient. They know they are so close to trying to tie this up on Lotus, their map pick. this best of 3 in stage 1. Tapping the spike, Mindfreak recognizes the members, but Meteor's there for the flank. That's a 4K now. Outlaw picked up for GENG. He'll try to do what he can, but it's only got 1 shot left in it. He can't go for the double, and Munchkin will clean things up.
Ente. Ayo guys, beli guys. Udah 9 ya dikasih lagi, bro.
With the Outlaw,
yeah.
It's a rough one for sure.
He had to gamble a bit there, right? It just did. I don't think it quite clicked with him. Or unless he's looking for the headshot, but
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, still Meteor though, so good with it. 4 kills in the round for him. Getting tons of value out of that Marshall. And that gives you a little extra bank to utilize as well. Now you've got a lot of
Ayo guys, bisa guys.
Both sides of showstoppers. You have
dari 4-10 bang, karena emang ngetek kayaknya map ini mereka pick aja ini buat attacker banget.
So a lot of counter utility play. Gen.G this time going to be taking mountain control with a TP in the back.
Paranoia out, but he's not going to land the shot. Devi will stop it, and that should stop the advance from Paperrex entirely. As GENG will slow things down just enough for something. He's thinking about peeking out of this revolving door. Off of the guiding light as well. The team comes
Let's go. Itu dia.
As they will get another round. And I do just want to let Achilles know on the desk that Paperrex finally got a round back once they bought the Odin. So, you know, I don't know. Causation, correlation, not quite sure where it lands, but it's there.
Oke, kita duitnya masih banyak ya. Gen.G jadi udah.
Very powerful gun in Forsaken's hand.
Wasn't exactly used at all that round.
Didn't matter. But it was
Itu
there.
Karon lagi nggak BU, bro.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, GENG there gets so much air.
Yes.
And then the fact that he's able
Dapat
to
2 itu mantap banget sih.
nobody recovers faster from landing after blast packs than GENG.
Absolutely.
Just unreal at his ability to stabilize his aim.
Odin.
Tricky to do. Now we're going to see that Odin come into play as the door is being pushed by Gen.G. Forsaken somewhat aware of it, but not able to find any. You know, he found a little bit of damage on Detector, maybe. Okay, Meteor.
All right, Meteor. He's definitely had to play GENG a couple times before.
God.
But Karen goes down. So much damage done. Texture took a big chunk earlier as well. Now you wonder, is it even worth pushing for this Odin? They're going to try to draw that aggro over to the B side. This is all set up for Texture. If he can get a kill, they can immediately rotate back as well. But it's just going to be the neural theft, and Texture knows there's no way out. You have to push the B site. The post plant, they'll have to worry about that afterwards. We'll look to push everyone out. The pit used for one side. Texture takes over Heaven. The rest all choosing to stay inside the pit. So Texture's gonna have to buy a lot of time before the retake happens.
This is tricky for PRX because there's no money left for Forsaken. Got enough to buy, but he's gonna have to fork over that Odin. Jeez, he knows these angles so well.
Yeah, I mean, barely just scrapes the cap off of Raze's head.
Ini Iko, bro.
But overall, Gen.G, they get the read that with the Odin spam and no approach, that this might be a save. They read the credit situation here for the potential Odin. Want to do some damage. Of course, not entirely necessary. Lakia, of course, has his Nightfall as well. Other members sitting with enough to buy into the next round. So Gen.G will let the round pass. 10-11 score line. We'll have to take a look how this impacts the next round as Odin
Ayo dong, guys. Bisa,
I want
guys.
to ask you, Will. Did you feel like Paperrex was going to try that retake anyway? Like, did you have it in the back of your mind?
You know, yeah, somewhere in my mind. Until I really saw Mindfreak really sit at the other end.
Well,
they might.
Yeah, it's in your mind, right? I mean,
because they've done things where it's just Forsaken spamming and everyone sprints across, masking their audio. Like, they've done some crazy things with weapons they shouldn't have. So
Exactly.
You can never count them out, and I think that's why Gen.G was a little cautious. But now, round 22, this is going to be the big one. Gen.G continuing with their default opening to take over Rubble, and Paperrex, they want to punish it this time. It's going to be a fast push out. Meteor, he's good for one. He makes the dash go away from the other. And now the back does a ride for Gen.G as well. They've cut off the forces pushing out of B main, and Meteor, if he can get that kill, if he had gotten it, the map opens up for Gen.G, but something will back off.
That was close for something. He's going to have just enough time to get out, but he still has no help. Everybody's leaning towards A. The raid a little bit off kilter. Finally, with that Prowler coming through, now they're starting to shift back over, and it's immediate change in direction from Gen.G. They're working the map so nicely.
Yeah, still a full minute as well. Now, the big benefit is, of course, Cypher set up on A, and Mindfreak understands he can't give up too much space on B main. They need to get that information nice and early. And so, Paperrex, they will hold 2-1-1 spread out across the map. Trailblazers, they'll clear mound on that timing. It's going to be the Odin pressuring, seeing if there's a reaction to smoke to help hit the tripwire. The Boombot will take the hit for that one, but the Nightfall, it's going to force Forsaken out. Does he stick around? He tags one with the cam. make sure that they don't approach, and that buys him just enough time to try to get away. Still no audio, and he has no idea that the rope's been taken. Busy with the reload on the Odin. Mindfreak takes over drop. Spike already planted though, and Gen.G set up for the post-match texture.
Low dua itu.
Curveball, the wild card. Something might have seen him because he catches the barrel, chases him down, and immediately swivels for a second headshot. And now it's just going to be Meteor and Munchkin 2v2, but the health not on their side. Nanoswarm buying time. The second one has to be launched right away. It's a lot of time bought. They couldn't clear it in time. Half not done. Now switching up that position, trying to push it. They actually just get it with the spray, and if Munchkin can't get it, it's going to be Meteor, who's just buying time. Still enough for Mindfreak. He tries to turn away, but Munchkin finds a sliver of an angle. They are tied up 11-11 after what seemed an insurmountable 10-4 lead for Paperrex.
Yeah, I mean, Paperrex trying to get aggressive early, trying to see if they can win some of those duels, but it's actually Meteor. The sidestep, something with an impressive double, but still.
Early push jelek banget, guys. Bikin kalah, guys.
Trying to play a little bit of game of tap the spike and dance around his Paperrex, and it doesn't really fool Gen.G too much at all, but it's all that early game kind of anticipation of the pressure, dealing with it, and working the map nicely. Here we go, fast hit, now out the open, Texture!
Just right through the screen for Texture to pick up a triple. Paperrex, they tried to adjust, and Mindfreak's holding on for dear life. If he gets a third, it's a totally different story. Now a 1v2 for Forsaken. Can he do it when Paperrex needs it most? The setup all the way on C site, but the lurk from Meteor, it's faster than Forsaken might expect. He has no idea, and it's going to be the kill. 12-11, map point for Gen.G as the crowd goes wild in Seoul.
Oh, miskin, cok.
I mean, again, Paperrex tries to challenge a little bit sooner than they have been on this Rebel take. The Texture is so ready for it. Gets enough comfort with that initial hit, and no real bothering by the utility there. He gets ahead of the Sky Flash. The reveal from Lakia is so good.
Itu kalau Lakia mati menang, sumpah, cok.
Gets even deeper than Gen.G's ready for, so he picks up 3 huge kills.
Kalau Lakia mati itu menang, guys, sumpah, guys. Tinggal Lakia doang itu, bro.
It's either going to be map Gen.G or overtime forced by Paperrex. The attacker side for both teams has been really good, but so far Gen.G's maybe just slightly better, especially with this showstopper coming into Texture's hands.
Yeah, and they know Paperrex, they failed the fight on
ini timeoutnya udah habis soalnya, guys. Paperrex udah nggak ada timeout, bro.
Them out on it, trying to pressure it once again. Takes the orb as well, sees if there's a reaction. It's a classic setup, and Paperrex, they might have to go for a bit of a Hail Mary here. Just make sure that you stick to your guns and say that Gen.G, they will try to push and pull us, but they are set up on Rubble. That's the current call for Paperrex.
And now you're worried about some kind of counter trap developed by Paperrex in between rounds on this A side. I think something's looking pick, but maybe get an orb as well. Get that Blade Storm going.
Nice clear on the side of Mound though. So now Paperrex, they know for certain as his door is open that it's going to be an A hit. Forsaken, does he look for a timing? He creeps in. He hears the Cypher case, but that's just bait from Munchkin. The absolute 200 IQ play. Baits out the Cypher. Jing trades for something, but they've already lost quite a few. Divide trying to clear the site. Spike still not planted. The showstopper will have to be used by Texture to make sure they have enough time. 3v2 for Gen.G. Munchkin holding from afar by Rubble.
Masih ada dua, guys. Menang, guys.
Their bases. The showstopper sent to cover drop. Now Spike planted. Mindfreak, does he use the Cox screen against them? The smoke to see if there's a peek, but not quite just yet. Drop going to be filled up by Jing. It's going to be a pinch from Paperrex. Mindfreak's creeping up, but the barrel shows as Lakia turns his head. Texture gets the kill onto Jing, and Mindfreak knows he has to get it, but not in time. And the IGL of Gen.G will close out an insane 13-11 map.
Sumpah tipis-tipis mulu dari tadi, bro.
It's unbelievable. And the comeback here from Gen.G.
Satu lagi tuh, bro, sumpah.
It's that determination they've had all year, that
satu
never
peluru lagi
give up
keluar,
attitude. So many of their games have gone to 3 maps. They've gone the distance. They've played an insane amount of games already here in 2024.
Begitu mulu lah, bro.
They are not breaking. They are holding fast. They are holding
firm.
Good game,
guys. Good game. Gak apa-apa.
It's really good. Something I want to mention. It's been the defender side action on this map that's been really kind of their bread and butter this year so far, but both teams having some great adaptation.
Ini gara-gara momen ini sih, guys, momen tadi ace-nya si Texture, anjir. Kalau nggak udah menang itu, bro.
Ran out of steam near the end, and we'll have the Analyst desk coming on to the show to break down the action a little bit further.
Bukan PaperX kalau nggak throwing ya.
When you thought maybe Gen.G was gonna lose their map, they said nope. This is our map pick, Lotus, and they bring it back. But it didn't look like it was going to be that way.
It looked really dominant in the first half. I think like all of Wars fought with deception, and Forsaken was a shadow. Like the way he was lurking around.
Iya, gara-gara dia S langsung kencang banget mereka semua jod teman-temannya guys.
And when they do expect him, he's on another part of the map, and it's just so confusing for them.
It was an incredible run back. It felt
Udah
like
oke sih, udah oke guys.
the insanity
Udah
of
oke
that
tadi guys.
texture ace, which was effectively a 1v5.
Udah oke pas attacker, pas defense-nya agak goyang dikit ya guys ya.
I will say though for William, who was making a bit of a note towards me on the
Dua kali tadi
cast,
tuh loh,
because
itu
he's
tinggal
walking past
tadi
the
kalau
moment.
si Mindfreak yang
they're
satu
going
lawan
over the Odin, but I
5 tadi dapat
seem to
4
recall
guys,
that
udah enak
Gen.G
banget
didn't
itu
use
bro,
the Odin
sumpah.
too much, and they happen to win this map. So
Terakhirnya gak kena pala
maybe the
gitu, bro.
Odin just causes you to lose. I don't know what it is. But this was a hell of a banger opener, and if this is what we can expect from Icebox as well, with the confidence of PRX to pick that map coming in, oh boy, it's going to be one hell of a series.
Cuma
Yeah,
dikasih
both
satu,
these teams definitely
Jir.
did not let us down. 12 first kills on both sides, and I think you're right, Achilleos. The moment
Cuma
Texture
dikasih satu,
got
bro.
that insane kill, everything started to turn around. That's when you start to see Gen.G's confidence. Coach Alecks was saying that just now.
Pistol Run
once
cuma
Gen.G
menang
gets that
Pistol Run sama
confidence,
dikasih satu
that's
guys.
actually the most unstoppable thing about them.
Ridiculously, yeah. I mean, it's that confidence for sure. I mean, at the start, you know, they were starting to struggle a little bit. Paperrex started to push out against them. Paperrex won the pistol at the start of the second half, but slowly Gen.G started to, you know, switch up the pace a little bit. They got information with Lakia. Texture started to go in.
Oke, gue nggak tahu sih guys, ini Icebox kita nggak pernah lihat Icebox bermainnya PaperX guys ya. Gue penasaran apakah Icebox kayak PaperX kuat guys, gue nggak tahu juga ya. Jadi gue nggak tahu guys, Icebox ini sekuat apa PaperX bro. Soalnya ini baru guys, nggak pernah di pick map ini bro sama orang tim-tim lain juga.
I mean, the turnaround from began after, you know, in kills to where he ended up is absolutely insane. It was just
Mindfreak udah 26, something 22, udah kencang sebenarnya guys.
It felt like Meteor and
Forsaken biasa aja tapi udah kencang bro, hitungannya Forsaken early roundnya udah bagus banget. Defense-nya udah bagus.
From Karen, from Munchkin, from Texture, and all that we're really used to seeing in that first half. But I think that, yeah, that rallying cry from the Texture ace is what really just got.
Ini Meteor kencang aja sih, Meteornya kencang banget bro.
I gotta say, solid efforts to Mindfreak, because good God, from the whole map across, he was absolutely on point.
Ini si Jason udah kencang pas defender guys. Pas attackernya agak turun aja. Pas attacker maksudnya pas defendernya agak turun.
Like that one that we just saw, he's able to pick up a couple of multi-kills here and there just to bring his team back from the brink, and that really gives them the even odds that PaperX needs to sneak away with these rounds sometimes. The only thing is just that, you know, although everyone from PaperX was chipping in, we didn't quite see that same kind of like in flow state highlight performance
ini momentum comeback-nya,
GENG, for example. There were great entries, there were great
masuknya satu, lompat satu, masuk satu.
Magical or as highlight worthy as what Texture did.
Yeah, and I mean, again, I think that's just something that's going to take a little bit more time for Paperrex to get back into that flow state, get back to having just the hive mind gameplay that we were seeing from them so consistently throughout last year. And I think that's perfectly fun already for them to come in, and then, you know, Alex, he was saying that, you know, okay, it's 9 days for both.
Gue penasaran sih, apakah main race atau main Sage sih Jing ya? Penasaran bro.
Didn't undergo any changes. It was just them going to the event, playing with this
PaperX selalu nge-ban Icebox guys, tiba-tiba nge-pick Icebox, tau gak lu? Bingung banget gak lu?
The edge in preparation for that. So for PaperX to still make that as close of an opening map as it was, I think is a clear indication that PaperX is back. They are
pakai kayo, mereka main kayo guys.
Contending to be top dog here.
Tapi kok kameranya nggak di Alex ya bang? Kameranya nggak di Alex. Lagi marah kali Alexnya nggak mau direkam.
Well, if anything, I think Gen.G gave PaperX a taste of their own medicine. You know, coming back with a hero play like that and this turning things around when everything falls into sync.
Jadi main Sage sih, main Sage, satu smokers, dua inisiator.
And I know Mindfreak definitely has a girlfriend buff right now. She's here in the audience. There you can see her with Auntie Jing's mom. Now Icebox.
Oh, Mindfreak lagi ada girlfriend buff guys. Mindfreak ceweknya datang ke Korea guys. Makanya kenceng ya.
They notably played Icebox. It was against Sentinels. It was the map they dropped to Sentinels when they were so close to getting that Masters trophy.
Gen.G has played this an immense amount, and I'm actually I was a little bit surprised to see that they were leaning into it as a pick as heavily as they had been, because it hasn't
Pantas
been the
kencang
cleanest
nembaknya,
map.
guys.
Similar to like Zeta with Ascent in the past, where like you go to this map, you get wins on it, but it's always a struggle. It's always so damn close when you're able to get those wins. But with Paperrex, I mean, clearly they have a lot of tape that they have studied, that they will have studied coming into this one. So for them to not show it for the longest time and then feel comfortable enough to pick it into Gen.G, they have to have a very solid idea about how to counter-strat this team.
It is a bit worrisome though.
Nobar
I mean,
T1 nggak bang?
still,
Nobar
you
sih
know,
kayak nobar.
Everything
T1
that we
di
know
RX
about
seru sih
Paperrex,
soalnya.
they prefer some of these like wider open spaces. They prefer to be able to work around the map. Icebox, it's like a little bit execute heavy. You might be able to work around mid a little bit, but other than that, mid has been opened up so much more because of that tiny little window around tube. And yeah, Paperrex, we don't really know what kind of composition they're gonna run. We had GENG with the Battle Sage before in the past. We had CGRS with the Gecko. What's it gonna be this time? I mean, so far, you know, 9 days of prep.
Let's go.
Is
Jadi Aron
GENG just
selalu
gonna stick
last
away,
main terus,
I
bro.
guess?
You could. I mean, there's still solid entry paths on Icebox. I think that, and there's probably even more. I can't really think of any raised performances that we've seen widely on Icebox since the changes came in. So there's probably a lot more that you could do. There's probably some crazy lineup you could do from mid and just completely land in window. You know, you come straight up and then hook your way left into the window and just annihilate anybody that's there in kitchen or two. But I'd be curious to see what they are going to be putting together. If I had to guess, I think it is probably just going to go back to things that they had done before. But we'll have to just wait and see, I suppose.
I think you're right, though. I would be surprised if we didn't see something a little bit crazy, a little harebrained idea like we saw in Sunset with that Sage Wall and Monyet going up on
Kayaknya
Monyet.
bakal pakai Seagate deh.
Fun things that you see the rest of the Valorant ranked community start using afterwards. I'm sure we're going to see some of that in Icebox.
You probably could find decent value running something like Sunset Comp on Icebox. I think that you could just implement that, go no duelist,
Anjir, mirip
just
Mastian
add,
ini
you know,
mah.
some more
Kagak,
control
Jir.
and
Mana
initiators
mirip?
into the mix there. Have
Mana
something play
mirip,
the
bro?
Gecko instead of playing the Jet. And I think that you can actually find relative success with it on Icebox.
Mic-nya gemoy,
I feel like
mic-nya.
they still probably, I want to keep that Jet in, especially with something playing. But you know, that's the thing. You got this idea of a Gecko now, but still.
A game.
So, before we talk about that, we're going to talk about agents. Like, there's more to talk about agents.
Our ranks.
But we got to do our game where we will adjust our ranks. You saw this at the beginning. I'm currently at Diamond. These guys are Gold. This is not our in-game rank, but our Pacific rank based on this question. I feel like we need to clarify that. Because these guys are definitely not Gold.
Ooh.
They're better. They're much better.
Which player will record a higher kill
Satu
count?
benchmark jadi
so
mas satu bang.
Texture
Seru
or
sih, tapi
Jing
kayak
will get the higher
attacker sided
kill
banget,
count
bro.
on
Paperrex
this.
juga
I think this
attackernya
is
kuat kan tadi.
Do you want to talk to the process, or do you want to show your vote first?
Yeah, I'll just go for it.
Let's just go for it.
Okay. I got mine.
I got mine too.
You guys ready?
Are you ready? Wait, he's
Let's go.
showing
Let's show it. Let's show it. Show it. Show it.
it.
All right.
No!
You guys are all picking texture.
How can you not?
I'm amazed. I thought for sure both of you were
We're
going to
going
say
Paperrex?
Jing.
Come on.
No, look, we like Gen.G and we like texture too. But why do you actually, Quack? You should explain it.
I just said, how can you not? After watching that ace, how smart, how like calm he was, how zoned in he was. That has to say.
Agent pick,
But what if
agent
he's
pick
playing a
dulu, bro.
Sentinel? Then we're screwed.
Well, no, because he was dropping big value kills
Ooh,
on
Sage,
GE
bro!
last year. So even if Texture goes to play Sentinel, I think it would
Oh,
be
he's
totally
playing an
fine.
Omen.
Guys,
But
Forsaken Kayo, guys. Yang ngajarin siapa nih,
Jing
guys?
is on
My gosh.
stage. Okay, so we're not seeing a double duelist.
Okay, so this is kind of what I expected from Paperrex. This is not
Gen.G
what
nggak
I
ada
was
duelist,
expecting
Jing.
from Gen.G.
Duelistless comp?
So they're doing,
We're not diving in anymore.
they're doing what I said Paperrex could do.
Well, that's a bit of a curveball, perhaps,
Aneh
from
sih
the
menurut
coach.
gua. Nggak tahu lah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Both sides are trying to cook for each other.
I'm not
Oh
gonna
my
lie though,
God.
this I kind of messed with this a little bit because we have seen a lot of players just be able to shift over to playing Omen and looking absolutely deadly on it. I mean, Tens is the biggest example
yeah.
of that. You get somebody that is very smart about their movement, about the decision making moment to moment, put them on Omen, they can absolutely thrive.
And Gen.G starts out on defense.
All right, we're going to go to Icebox. First time we're seeing from Paperrex in a long damn
Sambil
time.
buka
Let's
Excel
go
dari
to
Bang Rio.
Cassius William and Paperthin.
Let's go,
Well,
guys.
everyone
Okay,
wondered
GG well
what
play.
Texture
Good luck,
was doing
have fun.
last
Ya.
year, but now the question's back
Have fun
as
dulu,
he's
bro.
no
Yang penting,
longer
bro.
on the duelist. picking up the Omen. And the desk has talked about, you know, the shift. Yes, we've seen it. Obviously, Omen oftentimes used as a sub-dive agent as well. But a very new look from Gen.G, where they've always had some sort of hard
Thank you,
dive.
Asari. Makasih donasinya ya, Asari ya.
This is truly shocking in a way. I
Halo,
mean,
Asari.
Texture is so good at Jet. Typically, very
Sama, Bang.
reliable
Amin,
with an
amin.
operator. Probably still going to see him pick it up anyway, but you can always shift it over to Meteor as well. But on this defender side, really taking a ton of space, leaving the A side open with just a little bit of the KJ utility cleared by Paperrex. They're going to have a free plant out. Let's see if they can hold out for this retake. Going to clear the Nano as well. So everything open here for Paperrex. Using that wall. Make sure that this plant goes safe, but Gen.G trying to figure out exactly where they're going to come from. Looks like mostly from their side.
Yeah, they're all just going to cycle back through screens. Now, something about the Sage Wall, obviously very good in the pistol, but in general as well, it should be very good against the double flashes of the Gecko KO, as you still won't be able to fire through all the angles. Something just going to get a blind kill through the smoke. That'll dwindle down to numbers, and a lurk already in action by ZOWIE. We'll keep our eye on that on the middle of the map, as he's already cycled all the way through, but the wingman's still going. That snakebite ain't taking away little bro anytime soon, and we've seen this too many times for it to happen again, as Gen.G
Ada
will
Gecko,
get the
Jing. Nggak bisa, Jing.
Yeah, I mean, just Paperrex, they're able to get what they wanted, get into their post-plant positions, get the lurk, but Munchkin just too good on point. He's so confident on this map in the KO. He's just going to take that space, trying to get into your lines, trying to make it very difficult for you to get those post-plants that you want to get set up.
Kebiasaan, bro.
Texture with
Beli
the
mereka.
outlaw,
Oh,
in
soalnya
fact.
mereka dapat
I'm curious
plan ya.
exactly who's going to grab
Harus
maybe
pakai
some
si
of that
ZOWIE dulu
long-range
buat ngancurin
sniper
Gecko-nya, bro.
weaponry.
Well, yeah, it's going to have some good value too, though, as this force spike comes out with the half armors from Paperrex. Surely they suspect an outlaw when it's Gen.G with Texture and Meteor. So we'll see what ideas they have. It's going to be a high pop flash from the KO. Texture just throwing out the paranoid to buy more time. Allows him to reposition a little bit. Something with the hard dive in with the dash, but Munchkin already there from behind the site, and Texture gets another with the outlaw. Mindfreak's already close with the stinger, and he's going to be able to kill Texture. Not able to stabilize in the smoke.
Spike planted.
And the spike will be planted. It's surrounded by the walls. Lakia finds the scope of one. Mindfreak going down, and Jing all alone. Stinger in hand. Judge and Bulldog to work with for Gen.G. Going to be the Dizzy that's used to clear away from Heaven. Now creeping in from Karen. The Judge actually gets the kill.
Anjir,
from
15
about
darah,
medium
bro.
range from down below. And we will see Lakia pick up yet another point
Anjir,
going
hoki banget
towards
tuh,
his
Cok. Udah kena
thrash.
pala tuh padahal.
I mean, it's an interesting idea from Paperrex. You send ZOWIE, who's I think just had a ghost or
Bukan
something.
Mindfreak lagi panas, bro.
One of the
Mindfreak, bro.
other upgraded SMGs that the rest of Paperrex opted for. But he just
Oh,
loses
ZOWIE
out.
nge-flank, bro.
Expecting
ZOWIE
early
nge-flank, guys.
aggression. Able to use that against them.
Thank you, Tupai. Bismillah, Paper. Amin, Tupai. Terima kasih, Tupai.
Managed very well by Paperrex. Jing doing a good job avoiding the Dizzy, trying to set himself up, gets the dink and tries to re-aggress onto it. Fortunately for him, it's a Judge that he's going to be facing in that situation. So now it's Stingers and a Vandal and half buy. So this outlaw could get a ton more value as well for Texture on this A site.
I mean, the outlaw, the Judge,
Cok. Orbnya,
it's all
Cok,
going as planned for Gen.G. They'll even take the ult door very nice and quick, 1 point away from that null command. And now they will back up the utility, letting Gen.G know that this is an execute onto the site. Texture's holding close. He gets spotted by the dash, so he's going to have to buy time as Munchkin will take out one of the paranoid for support, but it's going to be Paperrex that just absolutely overwhelmed Gen.G. So he will go for another plant. This time, no Sage left alive, so no wall to block off the lines of sight. Meteor takes advantage of the long range, picks off the Viper, forces away something with the Nano Surge, ready for the trade as well. Forsaken eventually wins out, but that gives time for Gen.G, the rest of the forces to push through. The Thrash will clear out all the areas, finds him, and he is detained. And forget any sort of disrespect, they will just be going for the defuse.
Beli. Mereka beli terus, Cok, jadi nggak punya duit, anjing.
The third round nonetheless.
Yeah, I mean, Munchkin's so devastating with the Guardian. Saw it a lot.
Cosplaynya agak jelek ya, guys ya.
And kickoff. Able to find some value early. Yeah, Paperrex gets the plant down, but losing some pieces of the puzzle along the way. I think it's ZOWIE that started with the rifle in this round. That's so dumb. Munchkin, you're so good with that gun. It's not even fair. There's good trades here for Paperrex, but the weaper weaponry certainly hurts.
Oke, guys. 3 aja, guys. Udah, guys. Wake up. Beli senjata.
Force buy, of course, making that third round that much easier. Lakia pinging the orb, but not going for it.
Itu salah orbnya anjing.
Just backing off here.
Yeah, doesn't want to take that risk with the slow orb and the utility coming out as well. Paranoia at the ready. This is a trap play set up by Gen.G. They're going to push forward. The Dizzy tags him as well. They're ready for belt push, but Texture not able to get the kill just yet. So down to 4 members, 4 rifles for Gen.G. A dash in, but something he's been surrounded. Lakia tries to push him, but something's just waiting for that opportunity. And that allows the rest of Paperrex to try to swarm the site. You're holding true in the back of sight, trying to isolate the 1v1s, but they can't get in. The no command will just go down at the back. Karen not able to res as Munchkin eventually gets taken out. A 3v1. Karen, the rookie star, quiet in the first map. Can he find an opening in the second? Gets pinged, uses that against him, isolates one.
Tuh kan, jangan nge-pick sendiri kenapa ya?
Goes for the repeat, but can't find Forsaken, already waiting wide away from the corner.
Nge-picknya sendiri mulu bro, nggak di-trap bro, susah banget itu guys, bahaya itu cok. Oh tuh dapat 2 loh, dapat 2 itu, padahal bisa main lebih safe lagi bro. Bang, Forsaken nggak coba line up lu. Nggak ada anjing line up gua di dia, babi.
Munchkin's been aggressive on them earlier. This time, it's going to be Lakia who goes for it, wisely backs off. I don't know how something wins that battle, but then something peeks an angle. There's 2 players at Gen.G there. He gets taken down. But on the other side, the trades are much better for Paperrex when they swing around towards the box.
Forsaken mau kita peluk nggak Bang Rio? Ntar gue kasih ke dia guys.
It's been very chaotic so far. Obviously, we haven't seen Icebox from Paperrex in quite some time. This push out Forsaken, good for 1. Out we go. Munchkin is nuts. How is he always so good with these guns? He's one tap.
Especially on Icebox as well, right? There's something about him. Turns that switch on. Tries to stabilize a 4v4. Texture will recover that weapon now, and that could be the deal breaker. But no, Jing just shuts down right away. And Gen.G, despite having a 3-1 lead, of course, the econ very low. Munchkin gets the kill from afar as we see an extra damage coming in from Karen with the right click.
Kenapa sih overpick
terus? Trying to retake some space, but with the rifle recovered, when does Gen.G call for the save? Try to bank up some econ once again. He's ready for it. Sees the leg, and he will swing right back, trying to clear both corners at the same time. That might be the opening they needed. Karen eventually goes down. Munchkin doesn't get the call that someone's close. Might have caught a glimpse of him, and he's going to get 4 on for the ace. But he needs to defuse the spike as well. Not sure about the position, waiting for Divide, who's oftentimes lurking, but not going to find him just yet. Divide will tease him with the timer. Munchkin just wants to take away the weapons one last time, but Divide will secure the round. 2-3 for Paperrex.
I mean, what a round for Munchkin.
Kalau nge-pick nggak apa-apa sih guys, asal berdua ya guys. Asal berdua guys. Kalau picknya sendiri itu yang bahaya guys ya.
Even goes down to the spike there at the end, so this is a great opener. But Munchkin's just so good. That's a nasty shot.
Dia masih nahan di situ bro.
That wall to get up top, and just barely, they're able to get through it. Jing, when they used to play this map 2 years ago, was playing on the Sage a lot, so kind of going back into that comfort pick here for Paperrex. No Divide on Chamber. I was kind of curious to see if we were going to get to see a repeat of it, but certainly in this current meta, Killjoy able to claim so much space, especially on your defender side. Keep so much information under your control.
Di-rotate nih mereka nih, ke B langsung. Langsung ke B kan.
Killjoy on the B site. Be tasked with that.
Holding with that util. That allows Gen.G to go for their defaults once again. Push out A, take the orb, and immediately they'll reset to mid this time for a fast rotate to either site. Texture holding A with the op. Swarming the Nano Swarms, and the null command comes through though, so it's not going to be allowing the Killjoy to hold onto the site any longer. Meteor actually backs out just to hold an angle, sees the gun barrel. The spike will get planted, but it's going to be Gen.G who already has so much space and a numbers advantage 4v3. Now the alarm bot goes off. They know that they're still bouncing around the entry from green into the site. Yellow not cleared yet for Gen.G. All of them grouped up. The paranoia goes all the way through. Should have hit something, but they can't find him right around the edge just yet. And Meteor, he's still running and gunning when he swings around. Something will barely get that kill with 28 HP. The snake bite clears it right at the end and the pit, but it's right up against the wall. The spike should be easy to spam through. Little bro tries to go for it, and Lakia swings out to assist the little bro, and it's going to be Wingman going for the defuse once again, 4-2.
I mean, so much damage done on the way in by Paperrex. They don't have much for this post plant, so they're going to send Divide on alert. He actually does find a kill, but by the time he gets there, the pit's already in. What are you going to do against this? And it makes it so challenging for them. Okay, you get the 1-for-1 trade earlier. Meteor, great positioning, great footwork.
Aduh,
Feels like he has to go for
Wingman
it.
dari tadi,
Had the
Bang. Iya,
lockdown,
Wingman nggak ada,
didn't
Cok.
really have time to commit it.
Harus ada Davai, Cok. Kalau Davai-nya ada Wally, lumayan guys, Wingman-nya hancur.
Fourth round win. Now you've got a ton of ults available for Paperrex. Going to set up for kind of a stabilization, seeing if they can maybe get that lockdown into play right around the corner. Texture watching for that belt player.
And the jump peaks trying to come in for GENG. Not sure if they quite spotted him clearly just yet. Might have gotten a ping on the minimap. But at the end of the day, not able to take too much space. It's going to be the null command used as well, and Munchkin actually moves away. They're just, they're trying to just empty A site and see if they bite on the side of Paperrex. Lakia hiding by the smoke. He catches the side of the blade, sir. Lakia wants none of that from something. Obviously, one of his debut highlights here on Icebox itself. Munchkin ready with a flash drive and the Dizzy. The double flash is being prepared. Can they clear out the lockdown? The lineup, is it going to land? And it should just be able to clear that lockdown now. But still, so much utility used by Paperrex. Gen.G will respect it. Paranoia early to retake the site. Something should be wary of this. The wingman clears the corner, and Lakia swinging around already. Gets one kill off the top of Nest. And that's the forward position for Paperrex cleared out. Forsaken now wrapping around. They want to protect the pin, and it's going to be an all-out brawl right outside the pin as we see Gen.G continuing to get the kills. Forsaken not able to pick up an upgrade to the weapon. Only Mindfreak left, spiked down outside of his comfort zone. And it will be defended by all three members of Gen.G. A Hail Mary push out as the pit goes down, trying to recover it, trying to isolate the members. But Lakia is still around the corner, no time left. And it will be the round for Gen.G as Mindfreak will get a consolation kill onto Lakia.
Okay, nice
It's everything in the kitchen sink, thrown it this round by Paperrex. And they still can't get over the line. They still can't get that win.
Kan statsnya mereka guys, statsnya mereka ya mereka yang setup sendiri bro.
Lockdown. That's a tough one to get sometimes because it has to land so
dengan
perfectly.
Coach
Because there's only a small circle that the fragment can clear just by itself on that lockdown that's right next to where it lands. So really nicely done by him to get that, having just a phenomenal map for Gen.G is Munchkin in so many different ways. Setting him up really nicely there. And certainly Alex
bang, baca chat lah bang, kenapa Arya,
trying to get them back on track. But with all those ultimates used there, Will, now you start to worry about Paperrex, because even in a round where you feel like you've got that opportunity, you can get that pit down, you can use that lockdown, okay, it gets cleared, so what? You have the Blade Storm, you have everything you need to get a thrifty win. But it doesn't come through. Gen.G's just too good right now, controlling the edges. I think Forsaken gets a little greedy, trying to go for that rifle up on top of Nest there. I mean, I get why he did it, but that costs them. You know, maybe it's safer to just play in the pit at that point, make sure you get the plant.
Yeah, I thought he had a moment, but of course, I mean, this is something that Paperrex is so good at in the first map on Lotus, was recognizing that Gen.G will also never let go of the pedal once the fight starts. The trades always continuing to flow in. But as you mentioned, the ult's gone, but it's going to be a force up into the rifles. Only a Sheriff for Forsaken on the side of Paperrex.
Kalau nembak sih nembak aja sih guys. Cuman kayak seratnya tadi kalah di tadi ya.
Pick up the judge here as we've seen that Paperrex is going to
bisa guys. Positive mental attitude anjay.
That's going to be the trap play set up here on green. Mosh used to push him back, allows Karen to set up close by the door. Forsaken caught a glimpse of it on that jump, but not quite the weapon just yet.
He's just going to be holding that angle. Actually, he's going to try to push it.
Oh no,
so
the pop
dangerous.
flash.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and he baits out the weapon sound as well. So gets the information he wants. Meanwhile, Mindfreak was already all the way up tube. Meteor takes a bit of a hit. Divide there. They didn't quite suspect two members in mid already. Munchkin wanted to get him on the exit. And that gives Paperrex the idea to try to push back up. Meteor's wise to it, though. Dwindles down the numbers, and Mindfreak now another curveball going under tube. Planting Forsaken back in tube as well. Paperrex, they're continuing to keep control of mid. Nanoswarm used to allow for Lakia to hold a little bit safer on the side of yellow. Resurrection by GENG.
Yeah, and you got to be real careful here as Lakia. You have a Thrash, so you're a real big piece of this puzzle.
Well, I say that the caster Chris strikes, and he'll go down without much of a fight. And Paperrex now have control of this site, but Meteor trying to defend his own lockdown with his life. Can anyone get here to make sure that it's going to be Paperrex trapped into this texture? Will clear the enemies, but something pushes out just in time. Kitchen taken over by Divide. And Texture, it's too many angles for him to try to clear with an operator, but he's still going to go for it. Already posted up in Snowman. Doesn't catch something up top. Doesn't catch anybody else up top either, and Divide will swing out on a timing. Take Texture with a headshot, and that's going to be the operator in something's hands.
Yeah,
timeout yang bagus, langsung menang.
Pressure for Paperrex.
Dapat OP bang, something OP
trade.
guys ya.
With a good
Something udah OP nih guys ya, kita lihat guys ya. Something OP, apakah menjadi sebuah kemenangan atau menjadi
knowing that the operator is there to cover it. Meteor aware that they're going to have to try to move that angle. At least able to take a couple down with them, but at the end of the day, the numbers advantage too strong. Not exactly sure what happened with Lakia behind yellow.
Langsung timeout lagi bro.
It's a big piece of that ult puzzle. That was taken down, and immediately a counter timeout for Gen.G.
Yeah.
Trying to see if they can reassess what's going on. I'm pretty curious about this. What they see that they didn't like in that round. Maybe it's the mid-control stuff where they tried to challenge it.
And it has to be something along those lines, right? Just about the recognition of the potential trades. Perhaps getting, maybe just too drawn out by Paperrex's initiative around mid. I mean, of course, if you can fully control mid, it's a great area here in Icebox, but generally, oftentimes, it's one of the least looked upon areas because it's so hard to get full control, right? If you can still hold on to Kitchen, something like that, on the defense, Gen.G might be happy enough for that. So just saying, perhaps talking about not getting wrapped up in the tempo of Paperrex.
Yeah, there's so many angles you got to worry about there. Paperrex didn't really...
Gila live kan kontaknya 11-12 sama lu bang. Terima kasih, orang ganteng.
Took that space and worked with it because they're just that confident, that good. That everybody's going to be kind of holding the proper space.
Paperrex harus defense-nya bagus bang, soalnya defense susah bang. Kagak juga sih defense-nya bagus juga. Karena mereka punya dua duelis, dua sentinel nih.
Now something going to be with the operator of his own. He tries to challenge off that snake bite.
It takes a lot more health damage.
It's K, Jing can heal.
Yeah, that's true. That armor gone forever, though. We'll see. It's going to be Sheriff's nonetheless, so Gen.G is just going to have to look for headshots. This is all really, once again, a trap play, and we've seen Gen.G rely on this every now and then if they wanted to throw a curveball. They're actually just going to try to swing out. They don't want to let Paperrex approach. They know Paperrex would check the corners, but they won't find the kills. And it's an attempt from Gen.G, but it's going to fall flat as soon as the aggro drawn by something. Great teamwork from Paperrex. Wall goes up, spike goes down. And that should be the round as Munchkin sitting solo close to the wall with a Sheriff. See if he can get a cheeky kill or two.
Hoping that maybe Jing is going to go up the rope and get a freebie.
Restraint from Paperrex. A rare breed indeed. Oh my God.
Nice. Nice.
Attempted the 3K. Attempted it for sure.
Why not, right? Like, you might as well go big or go home there. You know you're probably dead eventually. See if you can just take away from Paperrex as much as possible. A change in angle there, or something. The player on his left.
Tuh kan Jason kenceng bro tembakannya bro.
Setting up Forsaken. Get that second kill. Really nicely done by Paperrex.
Gila, kayo on top guys, kayo on top guys, kayo on top bro.
Again. Couple half armors here and there. Thrash still going to be in Lakia's pocket. Forsaken has a null command though, so let's see exactly how Paperrex wants to play this.
Slow orb to make sure that anyone on pipes are not going to be able to peek out too easily. The 0 point should tag Lakia as well. So in a little bit of trouble. No command immediately to make sure that there is no utility for backup. And Lakia trying to make sure he goes for the anti-flash. They actually just don't check it up top. Munchkin draws the aggro first, and it's going to be 3 members down on the side of Paperrex. Gen.G only taking damage on the side of their Gecko. So that takes away the Thrash, but it's going to be enough for the rest of Gen.G to clear out a site and take another round win.
Kebiasaan guys mereka guys.
Yeah, it's just a player unaccounted for.
Kebiasaan nggak cek angle bro.
Keen on trying to get past 410 and see what they can do, but
cek corner gitu ya.
Biasaan right down by Gen.G. I don't know what else to say about that. One angle unaccounted for can swing around real quickly. That's going to be one of these cases. Great job by Munchkin. Playing that angle very nicely. Yeah, that's just a shutdown from there. So What do you do?
Oh, udah ada ulti loh, udah ada ulti kayu loh guys, enak banget cok.
Yeah. Not much you can say other than, oops, we forgot to check pipes.
Yeah, they'll have to remember that one. Now something, going back to what worked a couple rounds ago, just pressuring mid, trying to draw out some of that pressure on the side of the map. But they'll still have to deal with Texture's operator if they choose to go B. As we can see on the mini-map, Texture trying to decide which angle to hold, trying to back out further towards Snowman. As Gen.G's made the decision, they're just going to hold near boiler, near mid, make sure that they're ready for a flood on either side.
Oke. Kalau ada itu nggak sih bang di setiap agent bang kagak ada.
Used to check mid and
Inggris.
not going to find anything, so right back towards Lakia's hands it will go. Just DeVi, the lone lurker, all 4 other members of Paperrex.
Oh, this angle.
Yeah, Texture
Mati sih kayak
aware that something loves to swing out wide here on yellow. You see it all the time.
Oh, Texture's waiting for it, but he won't find the kill just yet. So he will get pressure with the fragment as well. Now, the spike absolutely getting planted with the pit as well. What's the answer? Is there still a lurk from DeVi on the A side? See if that finds a good timing on the side of Paperrex. Meteor sitting in the pit, waiting for his teammates to pressure everyone else out as Karen has eyes on the Killjoy. Kept him locked up in mid, and now Gen.G, they go for the retake. The Thrash comes out, trying to funnel everybody out of the pit. It's going to go land with the Paranoia out as well. Did they even hear the defuse with the Paranoia? Not quite sure. And now it's going to be Paperrex who has to flood the pit itself, but it's going to be the defuse that already goes through. Not aware of the half being done. Paperrex lose absolute control of their own Viper's pit.
What I'm curious about here for Paperrex is the whole time
Kagak ada ini, kagak ada molinya tuh cepet banget mereka ininya.
to see, you know, if there's any lurks or any flanks or anything like that, but it's never even attempted. Util just so good for Gen.G that they're able to clear the pit enough.
Dapat 75 sih bisa guys, 75 guys.
Behind that box, able to take a little extra
Ini
space.
mapnya gua rasa sih jadi map defender kalau agentnya begini ya.
Play from an unexpected angle, but Paperrex there showing a little bit of some of that rust. That lack of coordination, you know, with Jing coming back into the roster. Karen, oh boy.
It's going to be a lot, and they check the corner, but not quickly enough as Karen gets 2, and that should be enough to slow things down. Paranoia keeps Jing at bay. Lakia already under 2.
Nice.
Man clearing close, but Texture goes down from afar. Mind Freak will equalize the numbers. Meteor picks right up where Texture left off. And Jing has to heal. They should be aware. The resurrection comes in, and Divine tries to go for the trade, but it's a double stack. Lakia and Munchkin will clean things up, leading 8-4 at the half for Gen.G.
Yeah, trying to use the res as bait there, but it doesn't fool them at all. Munchkin too crisp, too clean. Really solid half. With a slightly different look for
Iya, makanya itu dia Gimana kebal molly, bro.
Even not on the jet. Texture
Harus pakai si Davai punya ini guys, Davai punya molly.
Really, this is like Munchkin and Meteor. Just shutting these rounds down. And Lakia maybe not able to find as much impact as he'd like, but still good information control.
Santai aja guys, map defender bro, taknya susah emang bro.
Making sure that they're being a little bit more diligent about one of the few rounds that caused them a little bit of damage.
Otherwise, slow aja, slow bro. Masih ada waktu guys.
A little bit dejected.
Udah define ini bro, 2 sentinel guys, Sage sama ini bro.
Well, right? But not much
pakai ini guys, pakai Davai pakai Demon Slayer.
You can cause some close quarters combat.
Davai pakai Demon Slayer bro, mousepad-nya.
Not quite seeing it. Lots of parents bringing
their
kids to watch some Valorant as well, as Valorant's really been taking over kind of the younger generation here in Korea.
Kocak bet, kocak.
Of course, with
Punya
all
belum datang
the
itu
Korean
anjir,
teams
padahal lucu
playing
tuh.
tonight, a lot of fans out in the audience.
Yes, it was getting raucous in the crowd when Gen.G started.
Aman guys, selalu aja masih cari poin kok. Jangan pusing guys, jangan sedih. Gila, main Freak 2 game menyala bro. Ribet
I mean, surely a round like that, everyone around the world, right? No matter who you're cheering for. Some good Valorant, but Lotus, both teams really swinging at it, whereas this time,
8-4 kayak tadi dong, terus di comeback ya nggak sih? Anjay!
Look for the defense. On A, a triple stack on B, could even go for the Sage Wall on the ult orb, something like that. We'll see what type of control they want. 0 point at the ready for Forsaken from mid.
Well, it's going to be kind of very similar again. Both teams kind of mirroring each other in their pistol rounds. Just like we saw in Lotus, so Gen.G gonna get the site for free. Can they kind of turn the tables? Last time it was the defenders who were able to get this, but it's a much faster retake attempt here.
Jason, keren banget Jason. Nah, 2 tuker 1, Jangan nge-throw, jangan nge-throw.
Yeah, the flank coming in very fast. Gen.G wasn't quite ready for that. They were peeking out, but it seems that they were a little bit caught off guard. But a good angle from Texture. He'll still alive with 27 HP. See if that's the deal breaker as Keren swinging around. He finds one. Lakia's going to pick up the kill. Goes for the trade there, and GENG, everyone solo. Mindfreak's actually going to pick up the headshot onto two. Lakia and Keren goes down. Texture still at 27 HP. ZOWIE at 89. He gets spotted up top. Texture, hear the drop, but he can't land the headshot as there's a slight ramp down.
Let's go.
ZOWIE will get the kill and the defuse.
Yeah, as much as the beginning part of that round looked kind of similar, it was a much faster retake from Paperrex. As soon as that spike started going down, they were just like, all right, let's go.
Mindfreak nih, bos.
The late flank.
Gila, Mindfreak panas banget, guys, anjir.
A ton of value. Once again, having a phenomenal map. I mean, even though day hasn't gone Paperrex's way so far, Mindfreak has been a shining star today. ZOWIE able to just get enough there and just a yip.
Yeah, ZOWIE's been very calm today. It's all been yips and uh-huhs and all the way through on the replays.
Funky buff guys.
Obviously, I mean, not too much to cheer for yet.
Let's go. Langsung beli Phantom.
Oke,
langsung Vandal guys.
And now, quite a few rounds to string together if they want to get back the lead on Icebox.
No force buy from Gen.G. So things kind of looking a little bit more normal, but Munchkin, these tricky positions, are they going to be accounted for? He gets hit through the
grating,
the grate of that fence.
Just barely stays alive. Had to go for the left clicks as the right clicks also would have just hit the grate as well, but it's going to be Mindfreak. Swings out, well aware of the lurk-in from Meteor. And Wingman not even going to get the plan, and it looks like Gen.G perhaps losing a lot of that value. Texture will pick up a kill. Mindfreak not quite aware of Keren's position. Nice to regain a bit of an angle. Texture gets another at long range around the poison cloud. It's a swing out from Keren. He waited so patiently, and he's able to try to hold control of the site. And Texture with 30 on the Sheriff makes the crowd go wild once again after a few quiet rounds.
It's brutal. Paperrex just, I noticed that on the other side of the coin, they were being a little bit more diligent about checking for some of those cheeky positions that Munchkin might take. Like, if you give up A space early, you know, we saw this at Masters Madrid where Munchkin would push right towards your nest and push underneath belt. This time around, he hides a position that does a ton of damage, but the other end, so Sheriff singing their song for Meteor and Texture. Doing a ton of damage, and yeah, just sneaky positions. Something that Gen.G has been so good at on this map, using just those little micro timings to get ahead of your information.
Mending monyet apa anjing bang? Nggak tahu lah guys. Beda komposisi bro. Beda guys.
We're now in Sheriffs of their own. Couple rifles.
Banyak yang udah ngomong kok guys. Beda game. Even race playstyle aja udah beda guys. GENG itu kalau nggak salah secel bunuh. Kalau monyet tuh bunuh dulu baru secel bro. Makanya dia pas disuruh jadi GENG nggak bisa, susah. Beda guys, beda playstyle
already on Evan, 2 by Boiler. They should be a quick backup as well. Flash drives at the ready, so is the frag. When the toxic screen comes down, they were waiting for this moment. ZOWIE picks off one, and Gen.G, they might have to reconsider things as Wingman will go in for the plant. But is that just enough? No, Locky can't get the spray down through the toxic screen. Something will pick off the kill. Now Nanoswarms at the ready, but Paperrex, they're ready to push things out. Going to be the Cloudburst, try to draw out a reaction. There's the Sage Wall, they have to break that quickly, but the swing up, the wide swing, something, once again, the Crosshair Magnet works its magic, and that's all the time Forsaken needs for the defuse. Paperrex answer right back with a Thrifty.
Yes. We're right back to kick off.
Balas lagi Thrifty-nya,
teams just kind of thrifting each other all over the place.
Lu liat something gak? Lu liat something gak anjing? Something banget cok. Something lari anjing.
Getting into position, and that's when they strike. And it makes it so difficult to recover because they're happy to play these scrappy games. They're happy to play like trust in your own instincts, trust in your own reaction type gameplay. A lot of other teams are going off by it. See, this time, Gen.G's done a pretty good job overall handling it, but this time does get the better of them. Crash going to be used early by Lakia. Get a little, and it does get the detain onto Mindfreak. He has no help.
Yeah, they're trying to chase through with the Shrouded Step as well, and Texture barely lands in time to get that kill. Mindfreak, all he could do was turn around and crawl away for his life, crying for help.
Kenapa nggak lari ya?
Too far. Now Mosh at the ready, so is the Paranoia. It's a brutal trade though. 2 for 2. now from the shadows, they recognize that everyone is here. Meteor already through tube. Does he sense anyone right under him? Don't think they would have heard him just yet. It's going to be, I look at the positions. I mean, Lakia holding way deep in attacker spawn. And Meteor trying to hold on to mid. Now hasn't quite checked out the window just yet. Forsaken and him. They will, okay, now they'll be aware of each other. Lakia catches one. The 0 point, meanwhile, pushes Meteor away from Kitchen. And Forsaken, now he has to find the remaining members. He has to clear them out. He gets one onto Lakia. He's looking up above tube. But now with Texture already out of the site, Meteor, no reason to rush it. They're just going to force him away from the spike.
Forsaken gonna try to tuck into the garage area, and we'll get there. But the real question is he gonna be hunted down? Still a little bit of time. Ping's coming down for Gen.G. Shots ring out. Forsaken knows that Meteor's over there and knows that he has to be tucked behind that bridge. Gonna watch it. The turret coming out, though not gonna be able to find the kill. I love what Gen.G does on this round. First of all, they read that there's just gonna be potentially just a solo player. Paid towards A by Paperrex so far. So they're able to use that.
Ya santai guys, slow guys. Uangnya nggak terlalu ini kok, nggak terlalu ke Gen.G banyak.
And then it's just they read the rest of the map.
Karena si Lakia di base, karena si Texture se TP ke A guys, A-nya ditinggal. Iwan di RS nonton.
And then from there, there's just no hope for
Paperrex. Pulang kalau kalah bang, agak pulang kocak.
Holds on to the entire map, right? Just to spread out. Normally, we kind of speak against that, obviously trying to stick to numbers, but just understanding how much the Paperrex would have to clear to approach the retake. Now Gen.G pressuring A site once again, and this time Paperrex, it's a reactionary round. They try to go for a spread out 2-1-2 default. Now scrambling towards A. Gen.G though, no lurk, just a turret to watch their flank. So they don't have too many options to rotate out, no matter how much time is left. Just going to be a set execute, but an immediate clearance of all the utility makes him think twice about this one. The paranoia to allow Texture to dive in with the Shrouded Step. He's already under, but he gets spotted. The slow arm keeps him tied up.
Nice start!
He will go for the trade.
Nice! Let's go!
And another from Divine and Jing each. It's going to be a perfect defense from Paperrex as they hold on to 3 members.
Well, now you can see kind of part of the game plan here for Paperrex. Understanding.
Kenapa RRQ bisa ngambil satu dari Gen.G waktu itu bang? Lah, kemarin kan pas pertama kali ketemu Gen.G kalah dari Paperrex, cowok 2-1.
Part of that is also because of the fact there's no jet. It makes it a lot harder.
Ya semua orang bisa menang bisa kalah guys.
And Paperrex has recognized that, and they're shutting it down. They're hitting him at the point of attack, knowing that.
Yang udah pasti kemarin RRQ yang udah pasti kemarin Paperrex masuk ke Master juara 3 ya kan Itu udah pasti guys ya.
Making it really tricky for Gen.G.
Ya kan, simple lah gitu kan.
They want to start thinking more about this B site, more about using some of their utility to clear these angles. Ooh. See if they can get a plant down. Divide does find one towards mid. A lurking Meteor accounted for.
Yeah, Lockett took a hit through his own Dizzy as well. Forsaken still holding on.
No kan Jason tuh tahu guys, di saat mundur dia mundur ya. Nice.
Jing finds the lurking Munchkin.
Konflik internal Jaya Esport nih.
Onto the opponents and their abilities to rotate and lurk.
Konflik internal Jaya Esport anjing.
Now
stuck in that garage.
Yang main Valo Jaya Esport gua doang sih sama Sandy udah.
Ada
Ada ular di gamemu.
Cheeky kills like that.
Well, it's just trying to dodge all that fire, but eventually Jing is going to find him. Lakia down, only on Texture. Did pick up a Phantom in the midst of all of this, but with 61 HP. Not looking ideal, and turns just at the last second. Mind Freak good for the final kill. It's Paperrex up to 8.
Santai aja guys, santai guys. Kita berharapnya guys ya. Kita berharapnya guys ya. Paperrex RRQ satu grup ya. Paperrex, RRQ, Gen.G ya kan? Ya berharap aja guys 3 itu masuk guys ya. Masuk ke playoff. Ya. Satu grup kan mereka kan? Apa enggak ya? Beda grup ya?
That green bar of ultimates.
Yep.
Oh, Gen.G grup Alpha. Berarti ya gampang lah kalau Gen.G kepisah, bro.
There's so much available. They're just gonna go.
Oh, it's the wall up. I've been waiting for something like this. Paperrex, there's never just a clean game of Sage. It's always something tricky, and it's just a push out across the entire map.
Gila,
This Gen.G just dropped like
apaan
flies
itu, Jing?
all near their spawn.
Apaan itu,
never able
Cok?
to leave home.
Itu apaan wallnya, bro? Wallnya kapa nggak sih? Wallnya kapa nggak sih, bro?
Anjay.
Anjay.
That's the res. You get your guns back. You keep your economy
Wallnya
great.
ke apa nggak sih itu bro? Wall ngegas bro.
They can do the same thing with the no command this time. Res him up again.
Exactly.
Lari bro anjing ke heaven semuanya anjing.
Got reses for days as Paperrex. I mean, it's just crazy what they do sometimes, man. I mean, I'm just like trying to like talk about what happened.
Masih ada duit aja nih Gen.G jing.
They're just gonna
kalah 2 kali juga kocak.
I mean, yeah, this is just a tempo change, right? Catches Gen.G entirely off guard. I mean, probably something that Gen.G thought about at the start of the map, but the fact that it has not happened at all the way up to round 19, makes him a little lax, and that's when Paperrex strikes. The boost up, the elevator.
Disiplin.
Such
Tukang ripple-nya nggak siap bang.
great thought processes that Paperrex is able to figure out.
Nice.
You see this all the time with Paperrex. They lose a map or they go down early in a map, and something changes inside of them. I'm not just talking about the player, just the team in general. Their thought processes, their mindset. They're so unflappable, is Paperrex, that they're still in the game and they're not getting overheated.
Okay,
santai,
chill.
Sense where they're
Gila, Davai panas, main fake panas, Killnya sama 16, 15, 14, 12 bro, sama bro killnya bro.
That can start to change the momentum.
Ini yang sebelah Manskin yang panas.
Out or anything like that. These ideas
saya ambel, step Jumawa jangan, iya betul. Tapi duitnya aman guys, duit aman.
Picture plays has in his mind.
Nah,
They've worked in a short amount of time. They haven't had a ton of time to practice Icebox, just a couple days.
Yeah, and it's just going to be the early pit as well this time. Right outside of pipes, doesn't want to risk that pit getting caught off guard just a little bit. So making sure that he denies the entry point, gets the high-low as well. And that allows Mindfreak to set up the top
something kalau kamu nge-pick, kamu mati. Aku yakin 100%. Udah siap tuh orang-orang Gen.G untuk kepalain kamu.
Near the B nest. Oh, the flash gets a big tag. Now just going to be a hold here onto the B site. Now with the pit up in A, unless Gen.G takes over some part of mid for a pinch, they're not going to have too many options.
Yeah, they're trying to get to the corner so they can get the Viper's pit down.
The crowd instead gets spotted before the flash. A bit of a mismatch. This is not something we used to see from Gen.G in the beginning of the year. But now with the Omen in the mix, they haven't quite cleaned up the timings just yet. And Paperrex will punish that mistake like there's no tomorrow. Wingman trying to get the tag, but it's just way too many members.
Nice.
Lakia will do his best something impersonation, but it doesn't end with a kill. As we see the last one alive, not able to land it onto Jing.
Let's go, baby.
Right now, Paperrex is starting to read the map really, really nicely, starting to understand where, Gen.G isn't having success on A, so they're going to start moving their attention over. The Viper's Pit helps, of course. That gives you a lot of
susah nggak ada duelis emang lumayan susah guys masuknya. Tapi mereka punya dua ulti nih guys. Gen.G punya dua ulti, coba kita lihat ya.
Any other look. They're able to just kind of plant their feet here. The flash came just a little bit too late, perhaps, from Munchkin, and Texture wasn't able to get through that from the shadows correctly in time, or something it got a glimpse of him as he got flashed, was able to get the kill. So you also may be seeing a little bit of this new.
Soalnya emang nggak pakai duelis berat cok masuknya cok.
Showing a little bit of polish that is lacking. Oh my god.
Yeah, something just looking for an early pick. Now, Paperrex, they should be wary of this. They've already pushed him out of B with the 0 point. Something won't quite finish a kill here. Karen down to 5 HP. As Gen.G, they will still relentlessly try to go forward with this. Wingman getting spammed through the wall. He cannot finish the plan. The lockdown already committed from Gen.G, but Paperrex has slowed down the onslaught. And Gen.G, they will have to recover the spike and still battle through this retake. Along with a lockdown, a potential no command, everything in the arsenal, and it's going to be the classic aggro draw as Forsaken gets the train, swings out for a third,
nice, Jackson,
and that is Paperrex taking over the lead for the first time here on Icebox.
I just love the quickness that Paperrex makes decisions to do things. They stick around a little bit for the lockdown. They don't have the fragment to clear it. So they're just looking for a few picks and other things. They get those, they back off. As soon as it's done, it's down. It's just going to be something charging through Forsaken immediately, holding another angle off the different direction.
Jason kayak paling ini stabil banget ya mainnya ya.
On this retake, everybody looking where they need to. Doing the right things at the right time. Don't even have to invest.
Mereka beli mulu, Gen.G nggak miskin-miskin dah. Buset. Kaya bet kaya, guys.
Still got a no command. Something's got a Blade Storm. Maybe if he wants to switch to an Alpha. I'm a bit surprised. Haven't seen one here with all this extra money, but you don't need it when you're that good.
Yeah, might have even heard that one. Texture trying to scout it out, but something just too good on the swing. And now the flash used from Forsaken to try to put extra
Balik
pressure
kasih.
onto Garage.
Balik
Gen.G
kasih.
has to keep
Balik
clear
kasih.
of that Meteor tries to take it upon himself to open the map a bit further in mid, but it's not there, so they continue pushing. Green, something still here. Whiffs on that first shot, not able to stabilize. No 2v3 for Gen.G. You've still got the Thrash. You've still got the Dizzy, one more flash drive as well. They do have the tools. If they can catch Divine here in mid, if he can pick up that kill, and Divine knows, as long as I stay alive, the backup's there. Munchkin takes a lot of hits for his trouble.
Yeah, and they're going to try to split the map, see if they can confuse Paperrex, but Paperrex is fully committed towards A. Especially with that knife there, that's got to be your thought that it's going to be that. Now the Thrash on the other side, so you're thoroughly confused as Paperrex to which side of the map this is actually going to be. You do get the detain onto Forsaken. Going to use the Dizzy as well to check if he has any cover, but Jing is just arriving through Kitchen.
Yeah, they weren't able to capitalize on that kill just yet, so that means Munchkin, while he's rotated all the way back over for his teammate, trying to make sure that they have a bit of a numbers advantage. Now to capitalize on that, and now it's all up to Wingman. The swing off of the flash drive. Jing not able to stop the plant. This might be the best chance that Gen.G has had. The drop, the on-point check for Avlakia, looking for another. Can he get a second? No, and it's going to be Jing and Forsaken.
Let's go, let's go.
The duo. They're going to be able to bring home Paperrex right up to a map point.
I already thought maybe that was going to be the round when you lose that lockdown, that maybe Gen.G is going to be able to hang on, but Paperrex's gunplay so on point. Something now getting aggressive on B, something we haven't seen from Paperrex yet. Now they're starting to get really deep into their playbook. You're starting to see why they like this map. This defender side has been nearly flawless for them. Just a couple rounds dropped. Now that Operator is in hand, Bladestorm in the back, still the lockdown, the no command available. Forsaken have a whale of a map.
Something gameplaynya mirip Rio Jaja, mulai tai ya.
You're going to leave Jing, the lone man on A, with some of that KJ utility to bail out. Oh, excuse me, I just saw something now.
Oh yeah, doubled up.
I didn't see that earlier. He was buried underneath Jing's icon on the map.
I mean, they are oftentimes all stacked up against each other, waiting for the trades. So we shall see. Lockdown and no command, still in the pockets of Paperrex. Like you mentioned, something now peeking out. Jing covering him for any peeks out from Belt. So A side secured for Paperrex. A solid 2-1-2 default as it's just going to Forsaken. Going for a jiggle. Now calls for backup. Device still watching mid for the team. The Poison Cloud not activated yet from Karen.
Util dump coming through. Still have that Viper's pit. Yeah, let's see if they can get it down this time. Buy a little bit of extra space. Mindfreak re-aggressing.
Yeah, and he's trying to hold close. He doesn't want this pit to come up. He wants to strike when the iron is hot, and he'll try to swing out. They're trying to make sure that Gen.G dumps all their util before they have to do anything. Forsaken trying to go for a long-range trade, but it's going to be Gen.G who still just wins out in the numbers. More angles covered. The smoke eventually dissipates. There is the jump up onto the wall. Halakia eventually gets the spike down. Now something trying to join Jing in the verticality as we see from the shadows from Texture. Lands all the way behind Paperrex, and they have to jump into the smokes as Lakia sprays down for two. It's all up to something, and with the Bladestorm, it's going to be so tough to try to clear this Viper's pin. Skirts around, and Karen lands her back. We still go yet another round.
Come on, la man. Come on, la man.
I mean, again, these cheeky positions, both teams just finding these nooks to hide it, and this time they're going to use a smoke to cover Lakia's spot. Device just bunny hopping through there. Jing's like, okay, this is safe. I'm just going to drop down, and all of a sudden, that's two members down. Pushing through on the site here, Karen find that angle, able to get that trade. Big part of Gen.G's gameplay is other teams have been talking about it. Some of their interviews when you face Gen.G is that it feels like there's always another player there. There's always that trade. Everybody's working off each other so well. It's a big part of why they've been as successful as they have. Now they're using a lot of utility. Starting to take some space. Something not going to invest in that up. Not quite enough money in the bank, I guess. Well, they could have done it, but they didn't. They didn't opt to. I mean,
throughout this entire map. It's going to be the site execute once again. Paperrex, are they ready for the 5-stack? It looks like it's. Slow Orb keeping them at bay. The null command used as well. They still have a lockdown for a potential retake or another push back out that gives Mindfreak the opportunity now to cover for mid. He's checking for the rotation. They don't see anything yet. A ping comes out on the B side for Gen.G. They have all the intention to rotate over. Now with the Poison Cloud going up, Mindfreak, it's his job to hold the line. One Nano Swarm to disrupt any type of plant.
Dapat
No
satu orang,
command
kedua orang.
coming out, but it's not going to be catching the killjoy
Nice.
just yet. Forsaken takes down the KO, and Mindfreak just trying to drag this fight out as long as
Aduh,
possible.
kena,
A
white
wide
swing,
swing
bro.
from Texture, but Jing gets yet another
Nice.
kill. It's going to be the long range hold from something, and now it's all
Nice.
down to Texture as Jing takes him down. 13-11 once again.
11, 13,
but on
11,
the other
13,
side
Cok.
is Paperrex. They finally answer for their own nightmares on Icebox, pick up a victory, and
Let's
take
go,
this
let's
on
go.
to
Map
bye.
3 sih, bro.
Icebox of all maps. I mean,
Apa? Gini guys, bilang ya.
Paperrex. Just trying to limit test a little bit here on
Paperrex
this map to
respect
see what they're
streamer,
truly capable of.
Paperrex
And
respect
yet the
streamer,
attacker side has
Paperrex
some things to be
respect
desired from this
streamer,
defender side.
Paperrex
Was
respect
nearly
streamer,
immaculate. I mean,
Paperrex
so many
respect streamer.
Good decisions, so much disruption of Gen.G's timings on their executes, things like that made it really, really tough. And it seemed like every time that Gen.G maybe had finally found a little bit of extra idea, it was countered the next round by Paperrex.
Well, Paperrex, after 8 bans in Icebox in 2024, the first time they pick it,
Ngapa lo?
they'll bring home the
Ngapa lo?
victory. Let's take it to the desk to break down how it all went down.
Dribble.
How it all
Apa sih
went
dapat banget
down.
gua dribble anjing?
We almost thought it was over. We almost thought it was going to be a 2-0, and then Paperrex finally start showing some of their crazy harebrained ideas and how much anti-stratting that they did, especially on the defender side. And yes, this is the Paperrex bundle. Also buy the Gen.G bundle.
Bang Rio,
Anyway,
kayaknya lu bisa
we're going
masuk
to a third
Paperrex
map,
dan di luarnya
Kilios.
enggak dong.
No, we are. And I mean,
Live di
we were
attack
kind of
juga
talking
nggak,
about
Bang?
it.
Iya, ini Xcurate asli atau
This is
enggak
what we
sih?
wanted. Just given
Namanya Xcurate
these
Tactic
two
nih.
teams, we wanted to see as much as humanly
YouTube,
possible.
YouTube. Double.
Things look a lot rougher than I have anticipated, I think.
Seru
going
ya,
into
seru
the
ya, seru nggak, guys?
Icebox,
Seru nggak, guys?
for Gen.G.
Seru nggak, seru nggak, seru nggak?
Higher attack and chance and trying to
Kita lihat grup ya guys ya. VLE.GG. Kita lihat grupnya guys ya. At least nggak 2-0 bro, aman guys. Oke ini guys, grup Alpha. Anjing di grup jadi gini guys ya. Gue nggak tahu guys ya. Gue nggak tahu sebenarnya guys. Ya. Berarti Gen.G sama Paperrex misalnya top grup bakal ini dong. Maksudnya bakal tetap di atas terus guys. Maksudnya ini kepisah grupnya gitu guys ya. Kepisah pasti ya, pasti kepisah ya. Berarti kepisah pasti guys ya. Kepisah dicari tiga betul kan? Iya bener cok. No 6. Nyari 3. Masa juara 3 nggak bisa Master Shanghai guys. Ya kan betul kan? Nyari 3 kan? Buat playoff. Ini udah pasti Gen.G, T1. T1 tapi nggak lagi kalah 2-0 cok, 0-2. Gen.G, T1, Team Secret kayaknya sih. Enggak sih. Gen.G, T1. Galau anjing ini grup Alpha kayak gampang banget, bro. Grup Omega yang diuntungkan memang ya, guys. Dicari 3 buat playoff, tapi minimal harus win 2 buat lolos. Kalau nggak win 2 slotnya dikasih ke grup sebelah. Oh gitu. Harus win 2 kali, berarti DRX sudah win 2 kali dong, oke. Ini udah pasti Paperrex, DRX, dan RRQ dong, ya dong. RRQ dong bro. Yang ini menang semua Jing, lihat tuh. Ada menangnya semua di sini bro, anjing grup sebelah kayak kuat banget guys, menang semua. Ini kalah semua grup sini Jing. Ini grup kekalahan, Jor. Ya nggak sih bro, ini kayaknya Gen.G, kalau ada Bleed, kalau misalnya Gen.G ada T1, kayaknya Gen.G T1 doang deh guys. Guys, feeling gue Gen.G T1 doang guys. Ini kayak Bleed bakal turu. Bleed Team Secret Global Esport bakal turu nih guys. Ini T1 bisa merangkat sih, T1 bisa naik guys. Ini bisa menang 2 kali, bisa lah. Ya. Ini gue rasa T1, Gen.G ini masuk 4 berarti. DRX, Paperrex, RRQ sama kayaknya sih Zeta sih, harusnya Zeta masuk sih. Kayaknya sih ya. Harusnya guys ya. Supposed to be. Prediksi gue. Ya soalnya ini kayaknya nggak mungkin 3 sih. Ini kayak timnya tim yang bakal banyak kalah di sini nih. Kalau tim ini banyak yang menang nih guys kayaknya guys. Bakal kuat nih guys. Coba matchesnya. Habis Paperrex lawan Gen.G, Paperrex ketemu siapa, Cok? Paperrex, Team Secret ya. Masa kali Paperrex lawan Team Secret kalah ya kan? Ya kan guys ya. Lawan Bleed ini udah kayak gak Paperrex udah... Paperrex RRQ terakhir guys. Gila guys. Paperrex RRQ match penutup bro. Ngeri guys. Maps penutup guys. Ini adalah ini guys. Duel Indonesia. Ini Gen.G. Salah guys. Paperrex nggak ada lawan RRQ bro. Mana Paperrex RRQ Jing? Paperrex RRQ nggak ada. Lah. RRQ T1. RRQ T1 ya. Paperrex. Global Esport. Lah. Satu grup nggak saling lawan. Emang iya guys? Biar seru gitu ketemu Jing. Satu grup nggak bakal lawan. Berarti Paperrex nggak akan ngelawan DRX. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh iya bener cok. Iya cok bener cok. Satu grup nggak ketemu guys. Iya cok nggak ketemu satu grup guys. Oh lawannya segrup. Enak banget ya. Maksudnya enak banget ya yang berarti grup sini enak banget bro. Grup sini nyaman banget nih kalau lihat guys. Nyaman nih grup sini guys ya. Nyaman banget nih guys di grup sini guys. Nyaman banget nih, kuat banget. Lawan sini yang kuat Gen.G sama T1 doang, sisanya biasa aja. Di sini yang 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 tim kuat cok. Ini enak banget cok, tim ini sumpah guys. Grup sini paling enak menurut gua guys ya. Bukan jangan jumo tapi beneran tim grup Omega ini menurut gua grup OP bro. Di sini di carry Gen.G doang, sisanya ya udahlah. T1 lagi serseyok-seyok nih. Kita lihat guys dia lawan DRX bisa nggak nih lawan DRX ya, kita lihat ya. Terus RRQ, tau gak? RRQ guys, RRQ enaknya guys, RRQ enaknya. Lawan yang paling kuatnya terakhir guys, ngerti gak sih? RRQ itu ngelawan Gen.G terakhir teman-teman. Jadi kayak lebih enak gak sih bro? Lu lawan yang tim-tim normalnya dulu, ya kan? Set, lu udah dapat poin banyak, baru lawan yang jagonya terakhir. Jadi kayak udah nothing tulus, lu udah tahu. Dibandingkan lu suruh ketemu Gen.G pertama itu lu udah berat guys. Lu udah ada kemungkinan besar bisa kalah kan tinggi ya. Ya kan? Mendingan langsung eliminasi dulu yang ini guys. Betul. Kalau lu lawan yang jago terakhir lu misalnya udah tahu nih di sini udah kalah banyak, ini kalah banyak. Udah lah menang kalah udah pasti masuk gitu. Ngerti gak sih lo? Nah, jadi aman bro. Enak nih. Nah, Paperrex harusnya udah lawan dia kan udah lawan T1 menang. Lawan Gen.G masih bisa menang bisa kalah. Sisanya harusnya menang semua sih. 1, 2, 3. Ini menang semua harusnya guys. Nggak mungkin kalah ini bro. 3 ini bro. Oke. That's it. Good. Ya. Kalau RRQ itu enak guys. RRQ itu berarti lawannya. Dia bisa lawan tim Secret nih. Lawannya masih oke lah. Masih sengit kemarin guys. Tapi menang. Lawan GE kemungkinan RRQ mimpin. Lawan T1 mungkin sengit guys. Kita nggak tahu siapa yang menang ya. Sama-sama ngotot nih lawan T1 nih. Lawan Blitz lagi turu banget. Menurut gue Blitz turu sih guys. Kurang sih Blitz. Menang harusnya guys. Lawan Gen.G ini yang berat guys. Ini raja terakhir jing. Ya gak sih? Nah DRX juga lagi kenceng nih. Masalahnya DRX lagi kenceng bro. Ini DRX Gen.G lagi kenceng nih. Dua tim Korea nih. Babi nih emang nih. Zeta juga 2. Oh Zeta tapi sempat 2-1 dia. Zeta lawan global aja 2-1 bro. Berarti dia naik turun dia guys. Ada dan tiada kalau kata orang ada dan tiada nih guys Zeta guys. Kadang bagus kadang enggak. GE soalnya setahu gue lagi kurang chemistry guys. GE itu lagi kurang banget gak sih? GE oke sih, tapi padahal dia line up-nya oke loh GE guys. Kenapa ya? Tapi kayak kurang aja ya gak sih? GE ini lagi kurang bro. Tapi RRQ pernah menang bah lawan Gen.G. Ya kapan menangnya Jing? Sebelum ada tekstur ya pernah lah. Paperrex juga lawan Gen.G udah pernah menang kocak. Paperrex lawan Gen.G lihat nih. Mana terakhir lawan Gen.G? Nih. Paperrex pernah menang tuh guys 2-1 coy di kick off. Pacific juga pernah menang 2-0 guys sebelum ada tekstur anjir.
positions.
What?
Okay.
Okay, something on Gecko.
Yeah.
Something Gecko.
It's
Nah,
not the double duelist comp.
satu duelist, nggak double duelist.
Duelist comp.
I mean,
Gecko
I
OP
don't
ini mah fix
mind
sudah.
this at all. Just give the proficiency for something on Gecko and how strong he is.
Nggak ada
I mean,
Sentinel,
Gecko
bro.
has a really clear identity in multiple different team comps by multiple
Udah
teams
bang,
around the
DFM
world.
sama Gen.G
On this
dipastikan
very
ada
map,
di
I mean,
final.
T1 kind of being the big ones in Pacific and really start pushing it
Apa di
forward.
DFM?
Did kind of
Parah kali.
see
Kalian ngejek apa
that
gimana sih?
previous map as well, Lucky on a Gecko. The Thrash is just such a strong ultimate, and it's very
Kick-off
useful for
aja ada,
countering
tekstur
once
ada,
these
di kick-off
Vipers
ada. Tapi
pick.
kan Paperrex pernah
We
menang.
know the
2-1.
Forsaken, an incredible harbor in his own right. I'm really curious to see how this is going to match up with that in the Brim, going up against the Brim Viper, which, you know, the majority of people
Bahwasanya
are
Harbor
going to
kayak
be
dribble,
leaning
Bang.
in towards having that Viper, having that additional post-point util.
I just want to see Mindfreak staying consistent. I believe that this can go the full distance. I mean, it's been a bit of a race to see who can like find that lead so far, and both teams are just keeping up to date.
You know, it's only day 5 of stage 1, but I feel like we're already watching a grand final event. This has been so incredible to watch. We're gonna go into our 3rd map of this series. Let's go over to our casters, William and Paperthin.
Thank you very much.
Let's go,
Paperrex
Peptiga!
bringing out another change. A bit of a
Arigato!
throwback here for their own composition. Going all the way
Paperrex melawan
back
Gen.G.
to Masters Tokyo, where they had CGRS the Gecko main, and they made this comp work. It was, in fact, last used in the match where we had something we like to call the Cove incident. And Paperrex moved on from that one. We'll see if they can do it again today.
I've been keeping my eyes out for it. I haven't seen it since. I think Forsaken cleared that one up a bit, or just hasn't stopped going for that lineup, really. Felt like it wasn't quite there, but who knows? You know, I like this changeup for Paperrex with this agent comp because I think, you know, maybe against T1 you feel like you have a little bit more of advantage in your skill deck. You could take advantage of that Reyna, but this is going to be a much more chess match-oriented battle, as we've already seen quite a bit. So a hard rotate from Paperrex off of just a little bit of utility contact.
Yeah.
It is work to treat for Gen.G. They have fooled them mightily.
Yeah, taking over short entirely. However, Paperrex will be positioned for a potential TP as well. The teleporter, they're thinking about it. They're actually just going to jump right on in as you hear the guiding lights coming out onto A site. No fear, clearing out showers, and suddenly the position's very good for Paperrex. They will take a big hit from something. The high Dizzy along with the Trailblazer. It's just their own two.
Nice,
right
Mindfreak,
now,
dapat
and
dua.
that draws all the aggro as Mindfreak's able to sneak out from his own smoke. He's now just holding Evan. They know that people are missing. He's just trying to buy time as everyone's missing their right clicks, but Munchkin will finally land the shot. Something trying to hold on to the site, and of course, eventually it is just going to be the round ending here as Paperrex gets the defuse.
No, all according to plan. I take it back. That didn't fool Paperrex at all. This was all according to plan. You know, they're going to overcommit towards that B side because everybody.
Aku ingin beli skin terbaru. Cuman bingung top up di mana. Ada saran, Bang? Cara gampang top up hanya paling murah. VP termurah, Valorant Point termurah se-Indonesia hanya ada di mbahgaming.com dengan diskon tambahan dengan kode Rio. Terima kasih.
Kind of the back part of site towards short, and they don't. Instead, they just commit deep into A, and they don't account for Mindfreak being up into A heaven already, just waiting. He had eluded any of their detection on that take, and that cost them. That cost them that round. You know, yeah, Texture comes in there and gets some big frags, but you're going to be on a variety of pistols.
Aku udah dapat THR banyak, Bang. Aku top up di mana? Top up murah se-Indonesia hanya di mbahgaming.com dengan voucher Rio.
Through the window as well, as they had already taken over main. Korsuka, the only place that's missing. Divide just going for a spray off of the drop. Knows that they have to be somewhere near the smoke. He'll wait for a little backup. It's just going to reset onto the headshot against Texture. The spike will get planted, but it's going to be Forsaken who just puts up the kill.
Aman aja, guys.
And the stinger good for 2.
Aman aja, guys.
Having his sheriff out just in time. It's going to be a flawless for Paperrex. Yeah, looking good.
Bang, itu skinnya something bagus banget. Dapat dari mana, Bang? Skin something yang terbaik. Pasti top up di mbahgaming.com. Dengan kode voucher, Rio ditambah lebih murah lagi. Dijamin VP termurah se-Indonesia.
But, yeah, I mean, what do you do against that? Forsaken's so fast with the stinger. Mows 2 down, even though they're trying to obfuscate that position with that classic for Gen.G. I mean, yep. Good old Uncle Abe. He's very good with it. No doubt about it. Man, what a round for Paperrex. I mean, already very unorthodox play style here from Paperrex. Nobody plays the maps the way that they do. With their willingness to give up space like that.
Ayo guys, 2-0 guys.
Sure, yeah. I mean, it's just a lot of
What is this wall?
awareness.
I love this.
Yeah, they've been doing that for the default here the past couple rounds. Wanted to touch upon it on the previous round, but of course delays any push into window, but also allows you to control that orb on long. A bit of a perhaps variation, something they might have picked up against their previous opponents T1, who had a deep wall allowing them to push out of window every time.
Si Jason hardballnya bagus banget ya.
Paperrex with their own version of it. Now Gen.G, they're gonna wait for that high time.
Nice!
Oh, and Device just waiting for it. Sights trained, gets Lakia off the rim. Texture not gonna get tagged by it, but Paperrex well aware that Gen.G has not moved an inch. Just cutting audio. Texture now been spotted. He has to pick up the tempo. The rest of the team has to come through. The Thrash is going to tag a bunch of people, and Jin's gonna go for the cleanup as Texture just has to hide himself in hopes that he can recover the round. But Paperrex, they back-to-back flawless Gen.G, and this is a one-sided start to map 3.
Yeah, again, it's the reactions from Paperrex. That early space to taken control of by that high tide works a treat with the Thrash already available for something. And he shuts that push down. You know, an attempt at a pretty decent-looking execute, I thought, with the stake bite and the paint shells in the back to clear the tube area for Gen.G, but it's just immediately countered by Paperrex. They're reading this every step of the way so far, but Sheriff's in Gen.G's hand. These are the rounds where they can really turn a map on its head. We see this time and time again with them. And they start picking the pace up after they get a thrifty.
Oh, the boombot timing is very good from GENG. They sense the Trailblazer early. Going through the high tide. Texture will track him through the wall. And that will give him another orb. That's Showstopper online. Mind Freak. Is he aware of that possibility? He gets past the trap wire. Not sure if he was spotted on the cam yet either. Meteor still waiting for it. He's not aware of it at all. Mind Freak somehow enters the Matrix and goes by all the Cypher setup. Showers back in control for Paperrex. And meanwhile, during all of that, something has wrapped around for the B side. Gen.G is just trapped. They know they have to go. They'll send the Showstopper, but they won't find a target. They have not actually gained any more space until Munchkin finally gets a kill to clear out some baths. Something with a nice answer back. Spike's still not planted. Gen.G waiting to see if they can gain a little bit more control. The Cove used for Forsaken to reposition. Munchkin, he's got a weapon, but something spots the barrel first, and that's Gen.G's numbers dwindling. Spike still not planted as Karen just
login itu biar dapat poin guys
ya. To hold here. No weapons in hand, just a sheriff. It's been a pistol that's really been one Gen.G can trust upon. So Spike finally goes down. Wants to isolate the 1v1, but unaware entirely of something's position as he was last seen in A short. It's coming through showers, and Karen has no clue, and something will get a triple, and Forsaken gets the defuse.
Yeah, this is a big win for Paperrex. It looked like it was going to go Gen.G's way potentially.
Poinnya buat apa? Buat
Showstopper available, but it's these timings that Paperrex is so confident to take. Even though they lose a player, they know that they can get ahead of you. They can outthink you if you just push. Because, you know, you expect maybe that there's going to be a player watching this, but nobody needs to. You know, you think, okay, we got our kill, we can leave, we got our Showstopper, we're good to go. There's no way they're going to try to chase that down, right? We saw this on Lotus a lot, too.
Comeback, amin.
Dribble gue apa? Jangan ini dribble gue bikin Gen.G ketar-ketir, guys. Is so confident that it's going to be a pull-off. That they can just go right through and get those kills. And that breaks the round open. Something with a great lurk, doing a good job. Oh, the flash catches Munchkin. Gonna have to back off, and this is what I'm talking about. They're just happy to start taking this space.
I mean, it's the entire left side of the map pretty much pressured through. Now, they haven't quite taken control of B long, but they do have an off on the side of A short, by the way, and held by the Sky, rather, on Divide. And so if Gen.G ever chooses to rotate, that's going to be a rude surprise for them, as Paperrex is now stabilized back onto the B site. Munchkin, fairly aware of a potential lurk here in window. But will they get the clear? It has to be a double swing. Munchkin and Meteor, they were so good on map 2, but they isolated to the 1v1s, and something swings out for the second! Munchkin and Meteor shut down. Thrash used to continue pushing out, and now they all group up. They don't want to let the fights get into the advantage of Gen.G. The TP as well, as they look to protect the spike. Run down the clock, Lakia. A nice peek out against the operator.
Ayo dong,
But still,
OP-nya
so
nama
many
mati
more to
dapat,
go.
nama mati
Mindfreak's position
dapat.
unknown to Gen.G as he creeps on the rotate.
I'm expecting Jing to blast out of here at some point. Just to try to deal with it, but he's going to hold the position on top of the box.
He's not spotted. Finally, they get an inkling of where he's at. They did pick up the spike, but they all run in. And Texture barely getting away with his life, but he's got 20
Nice!
seconds. And somehow jumps backwards off of the opponent's blast pack and stabilizes. You called it earlier on map 1. One of the best to land back on his feet.
He's unbelievable. When his aim gets broken, when he gets punched, he's so quick to recover.
Something
There's
81 loh,
nobody
gila.
else in the world that I think does it nearly as well as him. There's some great raises out there, no doubt about it. Zekit, of course, absolutely phenomenal as well in those situations, but time and time again, he's been so darn good. And these lurks have been all over the place. Something doing a great job on this Gecko, using his utility. There's one in the previous round that I really liked during this.
Bang, type out gini enaknya sarapan apa,
2
Bang?
rounds ago, where
Sarapan terenak pagi-pagi langsung ke website mbahgaming.com, top up Valorant poinmu dan beli skin terbaik buat memenangkan kompetitifmu. Pakai kode Rio untuk diskon tambahan agar semakin murah dan semakin mantap.
has. You know, I think so many times people are like, oh, you know, what are you going to do? They make confidence plays and stuff like that. Sure, they do that. But they also have a tremendous understanding of the map, of the space that they have, of the utilities, abilities, and things like that. So you're seeing it all the time. I love this Gecko because it's getting so much more information. It's helping them maintain control of this hookah into market area. It's making it really difficult for Gen.G to get anything done, and then there's always some player, you never know who it's going to be. I mean, for the most part, Mindfreak has been planting his feet on that A site, hasn't been moving.
Jadi APK hijau dibaca, Bang. By defense baru ambil banyak poin, Bang. Betul.
Yeah, the lurks really kind of trading positions.
Bang, aku tanya kalau kita rajin kita dapat apa, Bang? Dapat dapat title.
See if that continues. This time a much T for High Tide. That will get everyone from Gen.G tagged up and be long. And with the snake bite landing, Paperrex are going to back off, look to hold.
Tekstur tuh geter guys, karena melawan best Jing in the best race in the world, bro.
On his lonesome. Hit available for Munchkin if Gen.G is able to get onto the site. Something they can use to try to get their first round win. But of course, good ultimates on the other side as well.
Good camera placement here by Meteor, knowing that they've been pushing space all over the map. And of course, they're going to try to reaggress it. Mindfreak going for it. He's got that ultimate in the bag. Trying to play a little bit of defense here for Paperrex. Have the Seekers as well.
Oh, the Bosch timing's very good. Forces him to have to clear it out from afar. And Divide will get one. Something, he's stuck behind the box. Can he stay alive? Just trying to land it. And there, it's going to be a kill onto Jing from Keren. But Mindfreak's already way past. And he goes for a triple. Filing out from TP.
Dingin.
They were not aware of the re-clear from Mindfreak. And Gen.G is starting to lose a grip of this map one piece at a time.
It's just so fun to watch.
Thank you, Gilang.
Paperrex plays the way they think is so
Udahlah Bang Gilang. Tempat top up selain di Windows punya Bang. Langsung aja di mbahgaming.com. Pipi termurah. Yeay.
Paperrex could be out there somewhere. It's just those cabbages kind of take a moment to turn that angle, and by that point, Mindfreak's already ahead of you. Now, a little bit of space being taken through short A this time. It's just Forsaken all alone on this A site. Everybody else pushing out. So, again, the protocol is so good here for Paperrex, where this lone player isn't overcommitting, trying to take a trade. They're waiting this out. Now, there is a spam, and somehow Forsaken gets one.
Oh, and the Code to keep himself alive as well. He repositions. They would have to push it if they want to clear, but Keren waits patiently from afar. Gets the one-to-one trade. The Seekers now coming out from Paperrex, leading them back into the site, and there is the Orbital Strike, does quite a bit of damage. Something, all on his lonesome. It's going to be a 2v1, but how does he stay alive in all of this? Picks up a kill as well. The chaos where Paperrex was born carries him through, keeps the pit at bay. Now the Orbital Strike from the other side as well. Keren just trying to buy time, but something, he's already entered the pit. Munchkin has to be aware of this, and something snaps on! Already down to 1 HP from the decay, and it's all up to Keren, and he cannot get there in time. 7 in a row for Paperrex.
Dapat something
It's
gila,
just
men.
brutal. They're just everywhere. All at once is Paperrex.
Baju refresh
I
delay.
mean, you know, Forsaken does a great job his life.
Kagak guys, kalau yang di Indonesia emang delay, gue yang di Inggris tapi lebih bagus kualitasnya.
And then it's the Seekers out, and they're able to trail that Seekers to get another kill. That Dizzy is so insane. Something throws it at his feet behind him as he's jumping away to buy himself just a little bit of extra time, cause a little bit of extra confusion. And again, it's those instant reaction plays that Paperrex has. Such brilliant knowledge of their agents, the way to play them, how to react.
Ya Inggris feel-nya lebih kerasa bang. Iya kalau Inggris, kalau Indonesia apa sih kayak grafiknya kurang bagus.
Peeks out right as the poison cloud lands. Wants to get ahead of it before it blooms. And this has been a recurring theme even since Icebox. Paperrex knows that Gen.G, if they're able to clear the site where they're util, they are near unstoppable. Wants to get one step ahead. Take the tempo back as an advantage for Paperrex. Now, audio cut, and Keren will use that advantage to get the angle he wants against GENG, but they haven't quite cleared something from atop the box. And it's going to be Forsaken again with another kill. Meteor with the trade. Something spotted. Keren swings back out, regaining some of that confidence that we saw from the rookie. Over at Madrid, over during kickoff.
Nice!
Mindfreak puts Keren back in his place, and Meteor will swing around, but he can't land the shot. And the whiffs are starting to come in from Gen.G as they are getting shaken up. They haven't had a tough map like this in a long time here in 2024.
Everything's just going Paperrex's way. The luck as well. Mindfreak found the perfect moment to cut through out of
Gila, 5-5-nya menyala, Cok.
He had it under control, did Meteor. He was watching it. That's a really tough angle for defenders now that they have that bench outside of A Showers. But Meteor looked away to throw his smoke, and that's when Mindfreak cuts in. It's so well timed out here by him.
Flick shotnya, buset.
Forsaken starting to pop off a little bit.
Yeah, they
wah, gila bro, gila bro.
At their doorstep. It's been a tough going for both teams, but Paperrex, they haven't lost a single beat here on Bind. Mindfreak at 12-3-3. Back at championship level for sure. We see Munchkin getting chased away. Paperrex, they've cleared out A short. Once again, it's going to be something left on the lurk, an immediate cascade, and an immediate rotate in the works. The smoke's coming out from Brimstone just to buy time. This is just to allow them to make sure they regroup, but Devi somehow gets to spam through the wall, gets the kill onto the sky. The showstopper won't find him just yet. And now, Gen.G playing with numbers down. Something will have to hit the trip eventually. But during all of that, Paperrex setting up, and look at this. Odin spam comes through once again, forces him away from backside. Gen.G, they're not quite sure where to hold for post-plant. And there's a guiding light. It draws their crossers away for the anti, and Forsaken swings with it. There's a high tide. Now all down to Keren to try to hold on into the site as his teammates are busy with the flanks. Keren gets one. Meanwhile, the Dizzy pushes Meteor away. Munchkin with a trade, but he goes down. Meteor holding on, but Forsaken's there. And Paperrex string together yet another for 9 on the board.
I mean, this is so incredibly well thought out here by Paperrex. They get the space early, they send the long lurk again with something, but they have so much money, their max buy, that Devi's like, I'm going to grab 2 guns this round. I'm going to grab an Odin and a rifle, because he's swapped out.
Rapi guys.
And they just know, they know
murah banget nih dibandingin.
go, so they get that.
Terima kasih, Ham. Terima kasih,
time
Ham.
again on this map, and it works every time. It's such a great game plan here drawn up by Alecks and Paperrex because they have so many answers. And Gen.G finally feels like maybe we've got some comfort. We can get that B post plant.
Nah, ini kalau gue jadi pelatih Gen.G guys ya, gue akan ngomong gini guys.
Hold on to it for as long as possible, but you let go of another round here, and it all comes down to the pistol round in the second half. So Gen.G now hoping for the ever infamous 9-3 score line to carry them over into the second half. You can see on Meteor's face, they haven't been pushed this far in a long time. I mean, I would say, even at the Grand Finals of Masters Madrid, it started to slip away near the end, but it felt like they always had a fighting chance.
Yeah, until that last map. I mean, that was really, up until then, you know, the backbreaker was split. It felt like for sure for Gen.G, but they were fighting through the nail. Through those first 4 maps.
Kalau gue jadi pelatih Gen.G kayak
I'm with you, Will. This
si
is
Cha.
just absolutely brilliant the way that
Nega, nunggu masuk gue nona
game plan for this because Gen.G has not been able to find answers.
Nega, desi kemana teh? Nega marana juga masa. Marah desi kuncio.
They're happy to take
gitu guys ya ngomongnya.
big death ball battles to see if they can come out, just rely on their tremendous individual mechanics to get them over the line. And then if that doesn't happen, they start taking tons of map space, and then they have answers for when they give that space up. whether it's an Odin or just
Artinya apa, Bang
good
Messi?
play, good cautious play by Mindfreak or
santai,
Forsaken.
santai,
All
bro.
of these
Chill aja,
things
bro.
working so well for Paperrex.
So Gen.G this time, perhaps trying to use the timeout as a bit of a mind game, making sure that they don't actually lose the tempo. They're going to pick it up just a little bit. They've already tried to clear Hookah. They take a headshot, but it's going to be an answer right back from Munchkin. So Texture low, but something down as Gen.G leads 5-4 in numbers. Texture lands right outside of that link all the way to defender spawn. Now they'll get the spike down. They have the orbital strike. They've got the tools to finally get around, but the Cove comes in and tries to fill it again, but Forsaken's ready for it. One step ahead, yet again. The Reckoning will tie up Lakia. It's going to be the pop flash. He'll be good for one, but it's going to be another cascade. Vision now blurred away from Gen.G. Orbital strike has to be used to buy time. The spray to ensure.
Okay.
Divide to close the gap. 2v3 for Paperrex. Divide. Can he get the kills he needs to protect his teammate? No.
Okay, it's okay,
going
it's
to
okay, it's okay, it's
finally
okay. Nice try,
be
nice try, nice try.
A 3-man win for Gen.G as they put their first win on the board.
Yeah, good tempo change here for Gen.G. No longer playing cautious. And the fact that Paperrex doesn't take Hookah control early this time cost them a little bit. You know, yeah, something gets a ding, but he's caught on the way out by Munchkin. Good read by Forsaken there, knowing that Texture was going to get aggressive into that Cove. Shorty at the ready, well before Texture was pushing in there. Then he's able to find a couple big kills.
13-9, parah banget yang ngatain, bangsat ya kamu ya.
Try to bait out that ultimate. Do a lot of good things there to Paperrex, but it's just deeper this time for Gen.G, and that first kill is huge for them. The fact that they come out of that and are able to get into a much more comfortable post plant. Look at him trying to hide from Mindfreak. Not sure if he got spotted or not by that.
He still gets one. That's the best that Gen.G could have hoped for. So now a 1-for-1 trade. You heard all the TPs. Gen.G, what's the plan here? They're trying to push the defender's spawn, but the spike is already dropped by Lakia. He's caught unawares away from his teammates. There's the flash towards backside, and the showstopper will be the one to secure the kill. Texture noted as well. He's tied up now in a crossfire between 4 members of Paperrex, and Jing grows the crosshairs, gets the kill himself, and the judge.
Just bareng just, bro. Kata something, gue juga punya just kontak katanya. Nice cover anjir, gila. Jing di atas, di Forsaken di bawah, bro.
The judge v judge to finish it, but really interesting here. We're watching Forsaken's perspective on A. He gets that kill.
Katanya, gue punya just, gue juga punya katanya, kocak.
Over on the other side, and then Jing has the showstopper, and he pulls off. He doesn't want to give up that extra kill. So he swings back
Gila,
to the box
covernya, bro,
and
anjir.
trusts Jing to take care of it. So great coordination between these two players, as you would expect. Been playing together for so
Ini
long.
kalau menangnya jauh, poinnya tinggi guys. Poinnya banyak bro. Poin apa sih? Poin differentnya ya. Plusnya banyak. Plus yang di kanan tuh guys. Buat apa kalau misalnya ini?
That's something that everyone around the world started to notice, right? It wasn't about individual player skill level or anything like that, but these are just soulmates now back in form, playing together, and Texture's trying to tear apart the link between those two. Jing now goes down. Gen.G trying to take over the site, but they haven't quite cleared Hookah just yet. Something's still lurking around with the judge. He finds a site briefly of Meteor. Now just trying to keep him tied up. Something will continue to push away. Spike still not planted just yet. The site surrounded by Paperrex. Something trying to throw a curveball, going all the way around B long, but Keren will swing out, get two.
Trade-nya bagus banget, Cok.
The rookie putting some numbers back on the board, trying to bring home just one more round, trying to keep the hope alive for Gen.G as all 5 remaining members will hold on to dear life here on the site. Freak gets one through the spam, but it looks impossible. As cold as he can get, it's just 2 main targets, and Texture with 3. It's going to be a 2-10 half.
Good defend round, defend. Ayo dapat pisau, kita menang guys.
Success Gen.G finds the entire half is those fast B hits. Everything else just didn't really work because Paperrex was reading them throughout, or at least making their own reads off of the information in the space that they're gathering. Just absolutely
Let's go!
mind-blowing stuff that Paperrex does in that half.
Ribet, attacker ada Cypher bang. Mereka punya 2 inisiator bro, tenang aja bro, ada flash banyak cok.
Paperrex was reading the situations.
Ada Jing juga kan, ada race kan, bisa granat. Setahu gue sih bakal kayaknya bisa deh gampang. Cypher tergantung guys, mereka bisa main rotate mah aman bro. Main default dulu guys, cari Cyphernya di mana baru rotate.
They're able to play it really cautiously, buy some time for the rest of their team to make those long flanks, make those rotates. Cut players off, get them in unexpected positions.
Gecko sama Sky bang, ada race juga lagi kan.
Paperrex could do better than anybody else.
Harbor lagi masalahnya, Harbor juga enak bro. Dua smoker lagi guys, 2 smoker bro, aman bro.
If they want any hope.
Ih bagus banget gambarnya Jir.
From all across the entire country here in Korea. coming to watch. We had a fan earlier.
Abis ini kita nonton T1 tapi gue pindahkan, gue ini dulu guys ya, gue kirim ya viewersnya ya. Kalau TikTok bisa lanjut guys.
So far, but win or lose, the fans would surely hope for a bit more fight from Gen.G.
Thank you for donate-nya ya TikTok ya, sama udah follow juga guys, makasih banyak.
And certainly bind a defender-sided map.
Okay, let's see tag-nya guys, bakal kau tetong
work to be done by Paperrex for sure, and a must-win pistol for Gen.G. Or else you're gonna have to go
aja nggak sih bro, aja nggak sih bro, ke A dong, ke A saya. Kenapa T1 nggak lanjut Bang Cio? Lanjut tapi streamnya beda ya. Karena ini guys, karena gua harus, karena Paperrex mintanya dipisah streamnya, yang nggak bisa digabung gitu guys.
Yeah, just a ghost. So hold that thought. Sometimes.
Gue sambil buat ini, gue sambil buat thumbnail.
Oh, both sides waiting for it. I mean, Paperrex, they've had to deal with T1 pushing out a lot as well
sabar ya, gue sambil buat thumbnail guys ya.
That hookah position, and of course, back at the grand finals of kickoff, Gen.G also playing quite aggressively here on the defensive half. Gen.G the one with pressure as well, down 2-10. So Paperrex will wait. They'll gladly wait, and of course on the pistol, they could always just deathball it, try to win by numbers. But little do they know that the stack is on the B side. Cypher set up on A to just allow Texture to buy time. Snakebite at the ready. It's going to be a crossfire with Karen, but Karen has to make sure that he's not the one that's first spotted. The Snakebite has to be good, but it's a wide swing out. But the flash actually gets everybody. Keeps Karen alive. He's going to be hit by the paint shells. Eventually has no exit. But time bought by Gen.G. Paperrex, do they go for a rotate or do they stick to their guns? They've noted multiple people in hookah, but they're still not aware how many could actually be here on the B site. Now re-clearing main, only 30 seconds. If they were to TP away, they'd have to do it on a snap as they run into more members, and they're just looking to flood. The Dizzy goes down, the Trailblazer heads, but Munchkin's good with the spam. The bomb blast, but Munchkin just continues to spam on a rhythm and gets two through the toxic screen.
Okay, there you go. I feel like Paperrex actually read this pretty well, but you know, Munchkin just well prepared with that Snakebite, shuts down that push through hookah. It was a good idea from Paperrex, but not really able to find that value off that flash from ZOWIE that they would have liked. They get connected, but weren't able to get the kills.
Photoshop gue nge-lag guys.
Lucky is just full blind, gets two through there, and okay, a good hold.
Photoshop gue nge-lag bro.
Paperrex, mostly classics, a sheriff for ZOWIE. It's going to be the only purchase outside of utility. And let's see what can be done by Paperrex. See how much damage they can get. Camera.
Sabar guys ya, baca chatnya bentar ya.
Note this here.
Ini harus tunggu pistolnya, tunggu ini guys, tunggu selesai bonus round deh. Baru enak guys.
Not letting them know that he's actually emptied the area. And now realizing no more checks to cam. Realize the shower's been let go by Paperrex. They send the reinforcements over to B. Paperrex this time, it's a little bit of push and pull. They put the pressure onto Showers, now going back to main, but this gives them full control of that TP. They could rotate back to the spike over on the A side.
Kelaknya bisa lo, kenapa tuh guys?
Seeing if maybe they could get Meteor lurking. They're gonna confirm.
Trying to just create some space for his teammates, but they can't quite. Oh, Karen does find sight right through the toxic screen of his own, and now the high tide comes in. Meteor's ready for it right outside of Showers. Can he get the kills? So he's trying to go through. Waiting for the timing. Texture will push them away with the paint shells, trying to just make sure that they clear the plant. They do. And Meteor, he's going to land the first one. He lands the second and the third. And it's a quad for Meteor.
Oke, santai guys. Masih banyak round.
Discipline here from Gen.G. Nobody over aggresses. Great anticipation of where that hit was going to be. Texture perfect with the paint shells. Makes it way more difficult for that plant to come down for Paperrex. Meteor using that high tide against Paperrex very, very nicely. Something, again, every once in a while you see this with Paperrex, where they don't check angles, they don't check corners, they pay the price. Now, it is the eco, so not too much to worry about just yet, but you still have a fearsome buy to come up against with Gen.G. Judge in hand, a bunch of bulldogs and rifles. This is a big round now. Can Gen.G start to turn this map around?
Oh, we've seen this at the Grand Finals kickoffs as well. There's the Digi. He doesn't quite find it. It bounces right off the wall way too early. But now they know about the judge. So Paperrex not looking to deal with that today in hookah. That'll force him back away. Already trying to take control of Showers. Senses the cam. Destroys that. And this is where Gen.G will start to have to make some snap decisions. The camera no longer giving them free control of Showers. Munchkin fills it. Forsaken goes for a swing.
Nice!
And actually wins the duel out. And that's the cue for Paperrex to start pushing in. A long-range kill onto Heaven on Meteor as well. Texture, he's caught right in the middle of the site. He has to make sure that he clears his angles, but he can't. Lamb's already taken over as well. And Paperrex.
Let's go. Dapat, bro. Ah, udah pasti menang nggak sini?
Even more. Jing passed it.
Kontrolnya guys, udah penuh guys kontrolnya, bro.
Wants to get close to that showstopper as soon as possible. Finds the angle. Notices it's Judge.
So tough. So tough. Although Lakia just bypassing something there. So some damage still could be done. He's only got a Bulldog. Fishing to see if he can get that gun upgrade maybe before the round is over.
I mean, they'll take anything right now because they need to scrap together everything possible to try to continue here. So many teleports coming in. Lakia's a little scared about this one. Not quite ready for it. He chooses to go for the double triple, but only good for 1 kill. No gun upgrade, and Karen will die to the spike as well.
Yep. Now it's starting to look
Control!
Gen.G. Thought maybe with that buy they could get something done, but really nice anticipation of
Malah
that
Dava yang mati. Enggak, malah ini, Cok. Malah apa?
Having in the back of their minds.
Malah si Forsaken yang mati.
There's a player behind that box with the Judge, and the Dizzy notes it. When they pull off and they start winning 1v1s, Jake gets into that angle in U-Haul, but really Forsaken winning that 1v1 against Munchkin makes things so much easier because that shower
Kontrol, brother. Dapat kontrol, dapat kontrol.
Cover Heaven from there. At moments like that Paperrex is so good and so confident in, every team in the world struggles against that.
Kalau menang sih udah harusnya menang sih.
Cam here for Showers once again. I mean, obviously gets him a lot of information right up until it's cleared, so we'll see if it ever gets pressured this time. But it looks like just a straight set execute from Paperrex in the works. Mosh will land in front of Showers, trying to push them away. They're going to wait until the poison cloud is about to diminish. There goes the Dizzy. It's going to be the blast back in over the truck. Uses a Code for cover as well. And he lands safely into Lamps. The left side of the site taken over. Waiting to see if there's a Meteor, but Meteor not going to fight the just yet. Just waiting for backup to arrive as Karen already goes down. Tags 1, that gives Meteor the first kill. And Showers Lakia good to cover on Lamps as well. Spike still not planted. It's going to be a rush to TP over. Munchkin's ready for it. They see the pings coming in from the neural depth. That's 1. Can he get the second? He wants to buy time. Cannot get the kills, but dwindles the numbers down. 3v2 for Gen.G. Paperrex double swing out from Hookah. They will continue to charge forward. They don't want to miss a single beat. Something actually gets 1 kill. Now a 2v1 on the site. Meteor has to come in for backup. They need to get this crossfire right now for Gen.G. Lakia gets 1. Dizzy noted, and something wants to isolate the angles, wants to group them together. He's going to go for the far wraparound. The spike planted for him an elbow. He'll wait to see if a push comes through. Gen.G not quite aware where he's exited. Neither of them checking elbow. He gets 1, realizes he's not going to get the transfer. Thrash at the ready, sends it on a timing. Doesn't matter if he's, but he's going to wait. Jumps over it on the punch, and Meteor
Gila, pinter banget Meteor, Cok.
over the Thrash. Gets the absolute read to keep Gen.G alive.
The big brain counterplay from Meteor.
Pinter
Knew
banget
the
nih orang,
Thrash was
Cok. What
coming,
the
but
hell?
gets above it. That's something that you expect Paperrex to do, that kind of play, and Meteor outdoes him. I love this.
He was jumped up right before the Thrash even activates, right? Just knows it's coming, given that something hides away. Knows that something's not one to shy away from a fight. And something for once punished for trying to play it safer and around.
Ayo guys.
You love it.
Ayo guys.
Played that great.
Masih bisa yuk.
Used the Thrash.
Ayo,
in the
W.
1v2. I really like that execute from Paperrex, even though it doesn't really work out, where they use the high tide in the cove so Jing can safely blast pack to make sure that they can set up a crunch into U-Hauls. Didn't really come to fruition in that round. Execute was cool. You don't see very many teams quite do it like that, so nice little piece of work there. Opening trade, good for Meteor.
Oh, there's the showstopper.
Nice.
Can't get away from that.
Nice threat, Jing.
Meteor was trapped in back of sight. Now Gen.G still trying to hold on to the back side. They will have control of it for now. As Paperrex, they try to push through, but Texture and Munchkin are good with their shots. Something trades for 1, but it's still a 3v2 advantage for Gen.G. Now Showers control and backside control for Gen.G. They're going to start to pressure onto the spike. The Molly already having gone down. Paperrex, they will have to fight for this round, and MyFreak gets dinged. Something tries to go for the trade, but Karen gets 1, and Texture gets the other. And Gen.G will start to try to string together a couple more rounds.
Okay, stabilizing a little bit as Gen.G. Starting to look really good in these holds.
Udah dapat padahal plannya loh.
kind of weather the util storm that gets thrown their way. Meteor winning a big opening duel. Yeah, he can take it down with the showstopper, but that makes it a lot harder for PaperX to push space on the backside of this plant. So calm, so collected. Stinger does some damage.
Okay, time out, guys, time out. 2 round lagi, guys.
A little bit unique. I think the money might be a little bit wanting for PaperX in this round.
Yeah, we'll see if there's any type of force sub. Of course, quite a few rounds ahead, but not quite at match point just yet. So PaperX will have to make some of the tougher decisions. If they want to go for a bit of a Hail Mary, or if they will choose to let this one slide and regroup. As we see Gen.G regaining some confidence. You saw some laughter on the side of Gen.G during halftime, despite the scoreline. Impressive, just having faith in their ability to defend here on Vine, waiting for that half to switch. Alex, looking a lot more calm today than usual as well. We'll see how long that lasts. It wasn't earlier, that's true. And I feel like there's probably a reason we didn't see too many of his cams during Lotus either.
B aja masih jauh soalnya ya. Ntar kalau udah deket baru deg-degan ya.
They're going to be able to string together a few rifle purchases. The rest is going to be sheriffs or PaperX, but you know, we see it all the time with these two teams. Thrifty buys, they're actually going to downgrade to a Spectre, but thrifty buys are something to be feared, no doubt about it. And Keren does have that orbital strike in case things get dicey for Gen.G on the post plan or something like that. But
I mean, anything to buy time.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? You got the pit coming up soon as well. Meanwhile, PaperX, they're close to another thrash, so
Lo tau nggak sih Cyphernya main shower terus bang? Makanya ini harusnya mereka udah bisa baca nggak sih? Mereka baca formasinya si Direct, si GENG bro.
Changed up his cam position. Doesn't want to lose control of showers too early. Finally gets taken out though. Realizes the lurk from GENG very deep. Ruins the plan for PaperX as well.
Yeah, they're pinging hookah. So they were either thinking about trying to go for some kind of hit, maybe similar to the previous round.
Iko dulu bro.
Set up some kind of crunch there. It didn't really get necessarily accounted for by Gen.G as nobody was in that position. So maybe just a reattempt at it. Texture close to that. It is going to be different, a very different high tide. Try to give them the ability to take a little bit of space, maybe set up some crossfires. Texture trying to go for the early spam on the back of that poison cloud coming through from Munchkin. Here we go.
They're all decayed, but they have to destroy the tripwire. That's the cue for Texture to fire off once again. So all these smokes on the side of Gen.G doing their job. Dizzy taken down, tries to clear the wingman. He actually gets it, goes for the blast back, stays alive. That means so much, but eventually he gets wrapped around. Now the orbital strike with the pop flash.
Nice!
Able to stabilize the name before the cyber cage comes up. Lockia's here for backup. Now a 3v3, but weapons upgraded for PaperX. Spike will go down.
Okay, 3 lawan 3.
PaperX get another lease in this round 18. Something spots the side of Munchkin on that jiggle. Munchkin as well goes for the checklist. The spray down from Jing and Mindfreak. And now the IGL of Gen.G all alone. Gets one but can't get the second. Mindfreak with another triple kill. Mulsi goes galore for the controller of PaperX.
One more, baby, one more!
To match point.
Yeah, there's good ideas here from Gen.G. The trap wire placed inside of those smokes,
something
so
that Mindfreak Jing, lihat
identified.
bro, killnya bro.
There from Texture and a great blast pack to get out of a potentially really bad situation, but the coordination off the back of using that ultimate doesn't seem to be quite accounted for by Gen.G. And that costs Meteor his
Let's go guys.
Cybercage, he's going for utility, doesn't expect something.
Biasakan apa Bang Rio? Biasakan nonton PaperX sampai akhir.
That cost him his life, and that might have cost him the round.
Going to be that Odin coming out just to pressure Gen.G. Sure, a quick swing out, but not going to be able to pick up that weapon upgrade just yet. And that Odin is just mowing down Gen.G. Divide, letting them know that they will not push out
push lagi lu ya, babi.
As it's about to end in the hands of PaperX. Seekers used. Lockia stuck in guard, and he will get surrounded. And Meteor's too far away. Goes down. Meteor all alone with just a Gen.G Classic and a Stinger. Is it going to be enough against four members
GG Gaming, Mahkota balikan ke PaperX ya King.
Quickly trying to go. Maybe try to get a weapon upgrade. Wants to go all the way for a rotate. Now it's going to be the orbital strike coming down. PaperX, they really want to just end this map right here, right now. But pushing out this far, they should be aware, even without a TP, that it's going to be a deep lurk around. Phantom picked up, but so much time spent. Forsaken, he hears it. He's ready for it. Mindfreak there for the trade in case things go awry. Meteor would have to be a 180 flick of his lifetime to get this. He finds one, trying to spray down, but too much time. Forsaken swings out, and Paperrex answer back.
Selesai itu Gen.G.
Putting down their claim to the throne once again in VCT Pacific. As
Let's
they
go,
went
guys!
2-1 against Gen.G. Creative stuff here from
Ini baru Paperrex guys. Kita akan mengambil tron kita kembali guys ya, GG Gaming guys.
Completely shutting down Gen.G other than 2 rounds. Gen.G had to turn
Kira
up the
di grup
pace.
sebelah yang susah Gen.G doang, ternyata ya udah. Yang
Coming
susah
out
udah
of
kalah
Lotus
guys.
for Gen.G, you think going to
Kayaknya
the
nggak bakal
Icebox,
kalah
a
deh
map
Paperrex
that
bro.
Paperrex has been shying away
Dengar
from
komentatornya dulu Bang
for a
Cio.
very long
Oke,
time.
siap.
Other than when they picked it last year, sort of give it a farewell.
Telepon
as it left the
Sentinel
map
sekarang,
pool, but now
nggak
it's
gitu
back.
dong.
They look pretty darn good on that map, going up against a very tough
Lanjut
Icebox
Osmarty, lanjut
team.
T1 guys ya, T1
Combined
gaspol ya, T1 ya.
Really, the
Gen.G
icing on the
G-nya
cake
geter,
for
anjay.
Paperrex, just unbelievable the way they played it. Unbelievable.
Absolutely recovering their own flavor, their own color, and giving all the Paperrex
RRQ
fans
besok,
here,
RRQ
both
guys ya,
in
RRQ
Korea
besok
and
ya.
traveling from abroad,
RRQ besok guys,
something to
RRQ
cheer
guys. Wah
for
besok seru RRQ
in
nih
a
bro.
tough matchup.
Besok seru nih RRQ guys.
Yeah, Jing hit his hand a little bit.
Mukanya, Aaron senyum kenapa Aaron? Aaron kalau foto gini kan, Aaron kalau foto.
He might be ice cold in the server, but not always IRL. But what a match, and so much to talk about as we send it over to our desk.
Yes, there is so much to talk
Katanya
about.
begitu, Jing.
Paperrex defeats Gen.G today, the first time with Jing back on the roster. And it looks like we have a proper rivalry going on between these two teams.
It's
Coconut,
gonna begin.
bro,
I feel like
coconut.
the coaches, they're gonna go at it again at some point,
Hati-hati,
sometime,
Bang, Gen.G
you know,
kuat
in
di
the
playoff, Bang.
future.
Masa sih?
There's so much to study here, but right now, Paperrex have adapted on the
Oke,
fly.
teman-teman,
Paperrex have shown,
kita
especially
lanjut
in
di
this round,
T1
round
guys ya.
6, where after
Nunggu interview nggak sih? Interview guys. Tunggu interview guys ya, interview biasa interview guys.
They watched
Interview.
they marked that teleporter for days.
Yeah, this felt a lot more like
Nonton
the
timnya
Gen.G
Ci
that we
Adel,
saw
guys.
back
Nonton
in
timnya
Kickoff,
Ci
the
Adel,
one
guys.
that was dropping maps here and there to their opponents, the one that was struggling to have just full steam from the players across the series. It took a damn long while for us to really start seeing meteor heating up. Nothing was really happening, obviously, until we got into that defender side of the map for them. And while, yeah, Bind is a defender-sided map for the most part, it's not so one-sided that, you know, a 10-2 scoreline, 11-1s, all this kind of stuff, like, where that's going to be acceptable for you to take on your attacking half. They were not hitting shots at all at the beginning of the map. I don't know what happened to the team coming out of that Icebox, but they looked so different at the beginning. They found their footing for a bit. They tried to make a run back occur, but it was just way too far gone. They could not afford to have had that catastrophic of an attack half.
That's really what it came down to. It was too far gone. You can see it like towards the start, after they lost like 5, 6 rounds in a row. At some point, it got up to 9 rounds in a row. Like players like Texture, like looking at his player cams, he's really trying to kill himself back into the game. He wants to get those frags.
Okay.
Not like that. Sorry, Achilles. Not like that.
Interesting phrasing, but I know exactly what
Okay.
He wants to find those frags so they
Tengah
can
so
find
ganteng,
that
Bang.
groove
Kayak gue ya.
going
Makasih ya.
again. But then, you know, it just
Tahi
doesn't
ya.
quite happen. It's only easier
Interview
on
di
the
VCT
defensive
Indo, Bang.
side because he's holding these positions. You know, even in
Beda,
some rounds where he's
bisa banget ngebalikin keadaan semudah membalikan telapak tangan, terutama di first half. Kalau misalkan lo ngeliatin dari ekonominya juga udah kelihatan jelas banget. Di first half ini bener-bener strong banget untuk Paperrex. Sedangkan Gen.G hitungannya kayak generasi sandwich, gali tutup lobang aja terus. Baiko. Meskipun pada di second half dia udah mulai coba ngebangun dan ada momentumnya karena mereka menang dari pistol run, ya balik lagi terlalu jauh. 10-2 lu mau gimana? 8-4 mungkin doable. Kita udah ngelihat 2 kali momennya dari Gen.G dan juga si Paperrex. Tapi
one moment where it's like,
Mana bro, nggak ada bro.
I have happy feelings.
Yang
again.
antar kanan so cantik bang.
You know, as a
Bambi.
Gen.G player on stage, like that was the one moment that they could smile because the energy was just completely cut off. I mean, William was talking about it during the cast.
Tapi yang di
It
Inggris
never
bang.
felt
Oke,
like even in the grand final versus
Topong Sentinel bang, kita buy one.
out of their hands until it
Tadi
was
jujur
over.
masih, guys?
This, it felt like it was so far out of their hands, and right when they started getting some kind of steam built up,
Lo nggak bisa
it
ganti
was just
judul ya
far
kalau
too
TikTok
late.
ya?
And one of the things that shocked me looking at the
Ya
previous
TikTok nggak bisa
graphic
ganti
was
judul.
that they had 8 first kills. I honestly, it felt like after
Much
watching
less.
that map that, it felt like they had like 4. Because
Itu
it
nggak bisa
just
ganti
seemed like
judul.
every single round they went into, Paperrex was getting that early advantage, just taking somebody down. And it just felt like Gen.G was never really able to find a solid reply. This was just absolutely excellent fragging from Paperrex. Good game plans, great pivots and everything like that, but ultimately, like, they were just nailing shots.
The whole team, like, marking these positions. I think we definitely have to, you know, credit Mindfreak a little bit as well, because he knows exactly where to position himself, and he's, like, able to position his crosshair and connect onto every single shot that comes through.
And there was moments in there where I didn't want to credit Mindfreak, I wanted to accuse him, because it felt like something was far too sus. He was so damn clean, not just in Bind, though, across the whole day, honestly. Like, this was just an incredible performance.
Yeah, it's what he had to
Segera hubungi Sentinel Bang, Paperrex perlu lawan Spada. Kita stream aja nanti TikToknya, bro.
It worked.
Stream
Paperrex
aja lah.
had answers for every single round, especially in
Stream aja
that
ntar, guys.
first half,
Gampang,
and it was
bareng. Stream bareng.
undeniable. But what's
Biar bisa
also
ganti nama, bro.
undeniable was this matchup between these two teams going to
Mana, coy,
all
interviewnya,
three
guys?
maps. This is why these two teams were top 3 in Masters Madrid, and this was
Cuma
top
napas di
tier
Lotus doang,
gameplay.
Bang. Sebenarnya
And I
Lotus juga
think
itu
it's
bisa
almost
menang,
safe
iya.
to
Cuma napas
say,
aja
I'm
dikit.
pretty confident Pacific's gonna win a trophy this year.
I want to see it happen.
Yeah.
It has
With
to
gameplay
happen.
like this, it was a phenomenal matchup. I am curious with
T1
Gen.G
DRX,
and
Bang. Gas,
DRX
gas, gas.
next at some point coming up. But I mean, first T1 and DRX.
Yeah, there's a lot of games to go through. We have a lot of iterations that we need to have happen before we really determine.
2-0 kalau Lotusnya nggak ngacak, Bang.
Especially
Betul.
that third place team. I think that we right now it's
Victoria bangga, Bang.
seasonally
Bangga lah,
safe
bro.
to lean
Bangga
on
lah,
these
guys.
two
Bangga nggak
to
sih,
say,
bro?
like, okay, probably going to Shanghai.
Kalau nggak jantungan,
But who's
Bang.
the third?
Betul,
And
betul.
that's what's going to take some time to really figure out. But I think Gen.G looking a lot more exploitable in this one, and that is something a little bit concerning. The fact that, you know, double timeout calls in the first half only leads to a handful of round wins for Gen.G. That's really rough.
Mas T1 jam berapa, Bang? Langsung, guys, langsung. Paling ini lagi siap-siap nih. Paling 15 menitan lagi, 15 sampai 20 menit.
Because again, Icebox was pretty tough, and I wonder if it was just because Icebox was close because they were so close to pushing that in overtime and having that gut punch of not extending the map into OT. If that was the case. But if that is, you need to be able to recover from that. You need to be able to bounce back when you
Apa
go
cuma
into
dapat
this game
berapa
crazy
slot, Bang?
if you wanna
Tiga.
go to the series. And
Masters
we have
Shanghai
seen
3,
Gen.G
guys.
do that in the past, but they just played a 5-map series of Madrid, and, you know, a lot of points looked like they were going to be able to win it.
Gak ada
So,
interview
I
kayaknya,
think
Bang.
things
Emang ada
just
interview
went
nih, guys?
a little
Ada
bit
lah,
lopsided
guys.
here.
Ada nih, ada.
Kinda lost it for a second.
Sabar
And I know
dulu,
exactly
bro.
what you're talking
Sabar.
about, because, you know, it's not as though they've never seen Paperrex
this
play Bind before. Maybe they didn't expect the something Gecko, perhaps, but Paperrex did play this against T1 last week. They surely must have prepared at least a little something for it if they left it open. So for the map to go this way, especially that first half to go this far into Paperrex's direction, makes you wonder, like, what went wrong?
Yang pojok
But,
kanan
you know,
atas
whatever it
mirip
is, they
Gecko,
did manage
bawel.
to come back towards a little bit at the end. So I still have hope for Gen.G, but right now, I mean, it's just Paperrex doing
dipindah ke
such
siapa,
a
Bang?
darn good
Pindah apa
job.
tuh?
Yeah,
Pindah ke
Paperrex
stream yang
is looking
selanjutnya langsung.
fantastic. This is the original form that we have come to know Paperrex from last year. So to see them back in this dominant fashion, very convincingly, it's very different. Even in Madrid, while they did place third, there were a lot of struggles back and forth, and I can't say they were all convincing. It was a lot of heroics from Forsaken or Mindfreak, or each
Next match
each
lu
of the
Peres lu
Paperrex
cosplay
players.
Gecko kan,
This
Bang?
was very
Kagak.
cohesive. This was the what do you call it? The
Hive
mind meld,
mind.
hive mind that we say about Paperrex all the time. That said, we are going to go to our MVP Mindfreak with an interview with Jen on
Nah,
stage.
ini. Mindfreak, bro.
Thank you guys. I'm standing here with
Oh, udah dari
Paperrex
RX tuh, udah
Mindfreak.
siap-siap
Now,
mereka.
massive congrats, Mindfreak. Revenge is coming.
Gelo Koko, girlfriend
Last
move.
now, tell me how you
Girlfriend move, guys, girlfriend move.
Feeling relief. I'm feeling great. It's been like we lost 2 matches against them, so finally happy that we won against them.
Now, we saw a lot of curveballs from each team, and we saw a lot of changes from your side throughout today's series. So I want to start with the Icebox pick.
Kenapa bajunya si Mering splending itu, guys?
So long.
Itu baju kenapa si Mering begitu, guys?
So why today and why against Gen.G?
The reason why is because like last time we don't play Icebox is because we don't have much time.
Gila jamnya Mindfreak, bro. Ngeri jamnya Mindfreak, guys. Menyala jamnya.
We know that Gen.G Icebox is not that their strongest map, so we took a
Yang menang
game plan.
Paperrex 2-1.
To show up today.
Well, when it comes to gambling a little bit, Gen.G also had the texture on Omen on Icebox, so did that kind of catch you off guard, or what were your initial reactions?
Honestly, for myself, I'm pretty surprised why he play Omen, because like I thought he played good last time when he played against Jet, yeah. And yeah, I was surprised a little bit, but I don't really like bothered by it, so yeah.
And also, we see you guys on Bind.
Gelo guys.
Reina comp and more into solo
Sepatunya
duelist
Travis
comp.
Scott bang, gue nggak tahu guys itu
So is
guys.
there a specific
Kita
reason
red
why
outfitnya
or
kok Aaron
something
guys.
trying to
Sepatu
play
Travis
more
Scott, jam tangannya apa tuh guys?
Gecko?
Rolex nggak sih, Rolex enggak ya?
Honestly, I don't know the reason why. Just like Alex wanted something to play Gecko, so I don't really know why actually. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that Gecko. Something on the Gecko, especially with
Nah,
the
ini
operators
senyum-senyum
that
gini
they
dong.
have. Now, last but not least, you guys are facing Team Secret on Sunday. What's your mindset?
Sunday?
They're struggling a little bit. So.
We're not gonna underestimate them,
Besok.
even though like they look a bit off, but we want our revenge because last year we lost against them in Pacific League.
Besok
So
main
yeah,
lagi,
we just
enggak
want another revenge, I would say. Yeah.
Another revenge. Well, thank you, Mindfreak, so much, and good luck on Sunday.
Kagak.
Now that was Mindfreak, and we're gonna head off to a short break, but stay tuned.
Oh,
because
masih
we
jauh,
have
minggu depan.
T1 taking on DRX. We'll see you soon.
Oke guys, kita pindah dulu guys ya. Teman-teman. Thank you guys, kita pindah dulu guys ke next stream teman-teman ya. Jangan lupa kita nonton T1 versus DRX. Kita dukung T1 guys, karena ada Poco Espira guys.